What's that face, Hank? Are you okay?
What is that face?
Oh, Big Cat took a piss.
I had to piss.
I could hear it.
We pre-taped the ads. I had to piss. We were going to take a break. What are you going to do?
He's not using the sink.
What do you want me to do? I had to piss.
It just grossed me out.
Why is that gross?
The sound just, I didn't need the sound.
Number one
What do
sports
you mean?
podcast.
What do you mean when you need the sound? I was still talking during that. I know. I was following along. I had to piss. On today's part of my take, we have conference championship weekend set. An incredible weekend for divisional round. Oh boy, the PMT script writers went off. We have Eagles versus Commanders, Bills versus Chiefs. We're going to recap every single game. We're going to talk all football. It was an awesome weekend of football. We're going to start with fastest 2 minutes. We'll talk a little national championship before the game on Monday night. And we're brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. NFL playoffs. Playoffs? We're talking playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big is betting on them at DraftKings. The number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it in the playoffs. New customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Score big during the NFL playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TAKE. That's code TAKE for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Today is Monday, January 20th, and it's NFL Divisional Round. What? What? They're not gonna get them. Some spread. Great football. We start in Kansas City, where it was a cold January game, and the Texans reminded everyone of Mayweather the way they struggled with Reed. The game started with an explosion as Nico Bosco Remigio returned the kick, forcing Chris Boyds of London to put his special teams coach's manhood up for sale after he shoved him on the sidelines. Travis Kelceman was anything but a white bust as he came out ahead and had the stickiest of hands. PJ Stroud and Grandpa Joe Mixon tried to end this Chiefs dynasty to bed. I screwed that up. They tried to put this Chiefs dynasty to bed, but it was Patrick Mahomes who had the golden ticket and the everlasting ref stoppers, making the Texans the ones who kicked the bucket. In other news, Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift submitted a Box of the Year nominee at Arrowhead Saturday as the Chiefs booked their ticket to the Kansas City Invitational. Chiefs 23, Texans 14. What?
We go to Ford Field as the Lions hosted the Commanders in a biblical showdown with Daniels entering the Lions' den. David Montgomery came back from a knee injury, but Lions fans were screaming, "What gives?" as Jameer was taken off the field despite gashing the Commanders like the Roman Senate. Washington got a miracle from their Terry godmother as McLaurin slipped through the screen like it was a Take On Me music video. In response, Ben Johnson & Johnson was forced to take an experimental shot downfield as the Lions trailed by 10 and the Commanders got the ball back. And as my good friend Eminem would say, "Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Quinn Shady." And Mikey Sanders, still my bones collapse, shut Jared down for some minor mistakes like a Subway marketing representative. The Danalytics tilted towards the Commanders, with Washington being even more aggressive than Campbell. And in a case of my Dan can beat up your Dan, Detroit coach Dan Talica tried to reload, singing, "Give me Panay Sewell, give me fire, give me that which I desire." But Quinter Sandman showed up, saying, "I've got Jaden, and nothing else matters." The Washington Commanders are going to the NFC Championship game? Huh? 45-31, Commanders win. Left hand up.
We head to snowy Philadelphia where Max Talente was on the scene.
We head over to Philadelphia where the Birds were shitting on the Rams D early, but Jake Smelliot was once again acting extra smelly as he stinks at kicking stinking extra points. After a stellar run game by the Birds, the fourth quarter came a knocking, and Jaquan Barkley was telling the Rams defense, "2, here comes the 2 to the 6 to the line. Now I'm looking at Hurts right in his eyes. Tell him, hey man, I got this for the guys. Couple seconds pass, now they're chasing my big thighs. Everybody in the club getting TDs. Everybody in the club getting TDs." But after a pants shitting comeback by LA, Jalen Cowboy Carter told the Rams O-line, "This ain't LA. You can't hold me." So I lay Matt Stafford down, 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 down. Eagles win 28-22.
And we finish in Western New York, where Josh Jimmy Fallon swept aside all the allegations of looking drunk and breaking character in the playoffs, and he stumbled and bumbled for 2 touchdowns, giving the Bills an 11-point halftime lead. But the LiAngelo Baltimore Ravens came out swerving and hitting that quarter woo in the second half, as Tractorcito, running up bills like Mike Florio,
Legal fees, he's a lawyer, boom.
scored a touchdown to make it a game. Mark Aaron Andrews should have been on the sidelines instead of in the game, as he dropped a 2-point conversion, sending Buffalo off to the AFC Championship game. And no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. The Bills 27, the Ravens 25.
And that was the fastest 2 minutes. Divisional round fastest 2 minutes is presented by our good friends at Chevy. Chevy has packed more capability into the Silverado Trail Boss so that you can pack more fun into your weekend. Have yourself a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the truck that says no to nothing. Tailgates, spontaneous camping trips, DIY projects. Bring it on. What about a cross-country road trip? Silverado was the perfect ride for last year's Grit Week out west, and they sponsor the most prestigious award in all of college football, the Lowman Award. Well, the Silverado Trail Boss is built like a fullback, and we're talking 495 pounds a foot of torque. So hold on to your sodas, Max. Plus, the Trail Boss gives you an extra 2-inch lift, so maybe Hank can finally dunk. Silverado brings the grit, then pairs it with all the latest truck tech inside and out. The result, a truck that can do it all, then show up on Monday with a story to tell. So learn more about the Silverado Trail Boss at Chevy.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. And that was an incredible weekend of football. So incredible, we had to drop a little new intro for the people out there.
I think it's a good time to do it.
Yeah, thank you to the
Armentani brothers and Little Legends. They put that together for us.
Yes.
That stuff.
We want to get people jacked up for – that was one of the best weekends of football. I mean, all the games, 3 out of 4 were like very, very close. Your game, PFT, which we'll get to, we got a lot to talk about, wasn't really close, but it was an awesome, awesome game.
That might have been the quarter of the week, the second quarter in that game.
Highest scoring quarter in NFL history.
That was insane.
Insane.
Track
But yeah, we deserve that. We should just soak in it, love it. We have so much to talk about.
And somehow, next Sunday, that seems like it's an even bigger day.
I mean, the script writers went off, especially for this show. God is an AWL. I think we can all shout out the G-Man.
Yeah, sorry about all that V-talk last week, God.
I'm not. God loves vagina.
You think? Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah, 100%.
He created it.
100%. Okay, let's get into it. Let's just hop right into it.
Out of a rib.
Out of a rib.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Fellas, next time you're at Ruby Tuesdays or Applebee's, looking at those ribs, just be like, that could be a vagina.
Yeah. Oz the mentalist. I haven't seen you do that.
No.
Try creating a vagina out of a rib, dude.
Can't be done.
All right, yeah, I don't think anyone expected that little tangent.
Number one sports podcast.
Yeah, we're talking ribs and vaginas. All right, Chiefs 23,
her pleasure.
Texans 14. Oh boy, there's a lot to talk about here. I have this as my two things can be true game.
Yeah.
The first thing can be that the Texans got absolutely screwed by penalties. And the second thing that can also be true is the Chiefs deserve to win this game because they outplayed them in special teams and they made big, defensive stands and they made big plays to Travis Kelce. And as much as it sucks, it's like, yes, did the Texans get screwed? Of course they did. That the roughing the passer penalty in the first quarter that led to a field goal where that one was kind of like you can't even put yourself in a position where you're going helmet to helmet on a quarterback because you just know that's probably going to get called. I thought the one that happened, I think, in the third quarter, the unnecessary roughness where the Texans hit each other and Mahomes slid underneath them that led to a touchdown. That one was absolutely bullshit. And if you're a Texans fan, you have every right. You probably weren't going to win the game because you didn't execute in the big moments and especially special teams. But if you're a Texans fan, you have every right to bitch about that for the next week straight. Like, I'm talking, video replay, slow-mo replays, replying to every Chiefs tweet, just being upset. You have every single right in the legal court of the internet. Go off.
I saw a picture of Patrick Mahomes kissing a referee.
Yeah, I did too.
Like, I can't believe that they just let that happen.
I'll one up you. I saw a picture of Andy Reid blowing a ref.
I saw that too. Yeah. Andy Reid was on his knees on the sidelines. But the one where Patrick Mahomes is kissing a referee on the lips, I don't know how, if you're the NFL, you can let the Chiefs get away with that.
Yes.
Something should be done about that. But yeah, to your point, Big Cat, the Texans, they were the first team that outgained an opponent by 100 yards, had 0 turnovers, and lost a game in the playoffs.
That's kind of bullshit,
But diving deeper into what you said, they had a kick blocked. They missed an extra point.
Yeah.
They missed a field goal. And you could tell that Kaimi Fairbairn, first of all, not a cold weather name. Second, when he went out there wearing the full-on Sub-Zero mask, the full ski mask, the cold was in his head.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's the big return that they let up right off the bat. Stroud also got sacked 8 times. He got banged up early too, and there were just pressures up his dick.
Right. I saw that stat. That stat was bullshit because not only did the Chiefs intentionally take a safety and lose like 27 yards at the end of the game, which would have made that not a 100-yard difference, the Chiefs also had 110 yards of kick returns. Yeah. Which, I mean, you could win a game.
Well, most of them were on that first one, yeah.
Yeah, it's 64. They had some other good kick returns. Like, you could have a 99-yard kick return every single time and then and win a game with 4 yards of offense.
Yeah, that's true.
So that stat was misleading. The Texans just have a right to be upset, and I don't think that's what they'd screwed up the game in so many other ways. Not to mention, like the the special teams, that was atrocious. And we said it when it was happening. Kaimi Fairbairn he looked like Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he was not. That is not a cold weather kicker.
Yeah, you can't wear that much cold weather gear and exude any type of confidence for your teammates.
No, the weather was up. The weather was up by 11 points before kickoff. So on those plays, it leads me to one thing I've been talking about for the last couple of years, which is the in-studio analysts. Mm-hmm. The in-studio analysts that do these network games. This guy on ESPN was a guy by the name of Russell Yerk, who we've never heard of before. Mm-hmm. We thought he might be AI because the picture of him looked like he was AI. He was on. They showed his picture on the screen for about 2 seconds, then they take it away. This guy was the guy who headed up the oversight for instant replay for a dozen years in the NFL. He is a computer program.
Right.
His job. He was not a ref. He was the head of replay officiating, so he might as well be just a piece of software code.
Right.
I'm sick of the replay guys, the analysts, getting on TV and just being like, yeah, the refs are right.
Right.
That was a good call. The unnecessary roughness against Mahomes was complete bullshit.
Complete bullshit.
The one where they hit him in the pocket, that was bullshit too because it was the chest that made contact with his shoulder, and then his face or his helmet got close.
That was the problem.
Close to Mahomes' face mask afterwards. That was bullshit. But again, if the Chiefs get any breaks in games, they capitalize on them. They always do. And also the Texans might be circled as being one of the teams that refs take a closer look at because of the way they reacted to the Al Shire suspension thing, which is complete bullshit also, but also the matchup of Chris Jones going up against this Texans offensive line on the field, in between the lines, in between the whistles, that was dominance. He was just so disruptive.
Yeah, he and Karlaftis was incredible. I mean, he was just wrecking them on big plays. The Texans, that 4th and 10 that they ran, where they weren't really set, didn't call a timeout. That was an enormous play, and it just felt like outside of the penalties, which were egregious. The Chiefs did what they do. They execute big time situations like that throw to Travis Kelce where Mahomes was completely parallel to the ground. Those type of plays, the big third downs. I do want to say, so Russell Yerk, loser. Troy Aikman, shout out Troy Aikman, because I like that he has just basically, I don't know when it happened, but he essentially is just like, I'm going to be brutally honest all the time and say, fuck it. If he watches a bad football game, he's going to tell you it's a bad football game. And his point on Patrick Mahomes was spot on. That Mahomes, as great as he is, and he is the best, right now in the NFL, he's going for a three-peat, which has never happened in the NFL. His thing where he lets up on purpose to try to goat players into hitting him is bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's bullshit. Like, you can't, it's so hard for defenders to hit a quarterback in today's NFL. It's essentially impossible. And they have all the rights the quarterback does in terms of how they can dictate how the play is going to go. And he called out that one specific play where Mahomes, it wasn't even one of the penalties. It was Mahomes essentially was scrambling and almost stood still waiting for a guy to hit him illegally or hit him out of bounds. And I wish Mahomes didn't do that because he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. He doesn't have to do that.
But also, it is a smart play by Mahomes to do it because he gets those calls all the time.
No,
which is like the same thing that you were saying. It's two things are true. He's doing the right thing in terms of how to win a football game. That works. It sucks to watch. It sucks to be a defender. The only thing that needs to happen, the NFL needs to change the rule, or they need to. What they should do. This is actually a perfect example of what the NFL should do with replay. That's a pretty cut and dry one where you can watch on replay and say, is this an out of bounds hit or not? Right,
and it's no different than the NBA when guys used to try to jump into people to get a shooting foul.
Yeah,
like guys were doing that because they were calling it. You need to figure out a way to not call it as much so that Mahomes isn't, benefiting from it, because then he'll stop doing it.
Yeah, if that's the rule, then he's going to continue to do it as long as it's helping his team out. I actually thought the Texans defense, for the most part, at least in terms of their cornerbacks, played pretty good. They played really well. Stingley and Lassiter gave up 0 catches. 0 catches. That's pretty fucking good.
Counterpoint, they just didn't account for Travis Kelce.
Right, but
Travis Kelce was
Stingley and Lassiter played awesome.
The game plan of we think Travis Kelce's over the hill, that's just not true, because Travis Kelce continues to be a monster in the playoffs. He went for 7 catches, 117 yards, and a touchdown. Travis Kelce, that is his 14th straight game with over 70 playoff game with over 70 yards. In those 14 games, he is averaging, these are all playoff games, he is averaging 8.5 catches, 99 yards, and over a touchdown per game. You probably should have worried about Travis Kelce a little bit more. And that we said this on Friday when we were doing the preview. When the Chiefs get in the playoffs, it's Mahomes with his legs and Travis Kelce on third down, and you just know that it's going to be there. And it was there when they needed it, and that was the difference in the game. If you don't let Travis Kelce beat you, maybe the Texans win that game. I don't know. At the end of the day, the Texans just didn't execute in special teams more than anything, and not blocking. It felt like there was multiple times that the Chiefs needed a big play on defense, and Spags would dial something up, and they would send a blitzer
at the right time.
Karlaftis would win a one-on-one, and they would get that big sack and get him into negative plays. It sucks because I thought C.J. Stroud he played well, and he was tough as fuck because he got absolutely killed a few times.
It looks like he got hit out of bounds when he was running in the first quarter, and then he was significantly hampered when he was trying to run after that. By the end of the game, he was just torn
He got
up.
hit again, too, I think, later in the game.
He was torn up. But, yeah, the Chiefs' defense played really well. I just think that the Texans, they played a lot better than a lot of people thought that they would.
Yeah, they only scored one touchdown though. That's
scored,
like you look at it and you're like, okay, you left a bunch of points on the field with your field goal unit. You hurt your defense by giving up a bunch of kick returns, and then you scored one touchdown. Like, you can't win a game scoring one touchdown against the Chiefs in Arrowhead in the playoffs.
You want to do a thought experiment real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine the Kansas City Chiefs had never won a Super Bowl. Would people be rooting for the Chiefs in these playoffs? Would they be a team that's fun to watch that still
No.
you don't think so?
I wouldn't say they're fun to watch.
Compared to the teams left?
Yeah, I mean, so would it be the Chiefs have the same history, but would they have gotten as far and like fallen short?
Yeah, I guess that's
Like,
that's
would they
the
have
question
gotten
you
to
have
the
ask.
Super Bowl? Because then, yes, I think people would have been rooting for Mahomes, kind of like a Josh Allen or Lamar, where it's like, if he had gotten to all these Super Bowls and never won one.
Yeah, alternate universe where Josh has 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't have any.
I think people would be rooting for him. Yeah.
Yeah. But they would
that's just
they would
how
still get
everyone roots.
they would still get upset with the whole sideline dancing thing. And when he did that slide when the two Texans hit each other, that's not. I don't blame Mahomes for doing that. He was just trying to get on the ground. But that's a call that you can't make as a ref. Do you know how fast
He also
these guys
waited
are going?
so long to go to the ground, though. He wasn't really trying to get to the ground.
But this is what we say. I mean, the Chiefs are every call goes, the Chiefs' way. I actually don't think statistically, I don't think that's true. Like, people pull it up and it's like, it's actually not true. It feels that way. The reason why it feels that way is that if you give the Chiefs even an inch, they're going to win the game.
If you extend a drive.
If you make a singular mistake with the Chiefs, and these calls weren't mistakes because they were just bad calls, they will capitalize every single time and make you pay for it. So the calls get magnified. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't score a touchdown and a field goal off these 2 calls, it probably just doesn't feel as significant. But because if they get a free 15 yards, they're going to go score a touchdown. That's just what the Chiefs do. That's a championship team. That's what they do.
And we're going to be 60 years old, and Travis Kelce is just going to be sitting down in the middle of zone coverage, catching a football, turning upfield, running for 12 more yards. That's just going to happen. I love it when announcers are like, this guy just knows how to get open.
He's so good, and he's so good in these big situations. And like I said, I mean, the 14 straight playoff games of 70 yards or more. And I think 2 of those 14 were in the 70s. Like, he had 171 and 179. There's a bunch that are in the hundreds. Like, he just shows up. He's there for Mahomes when he needs to be. And that pass by Mahomes where he was completely parallel was insane.
It was nuts.
It was absolutely insane. And now Mahomes is 7-0 in the divisional round. He has won a playoff game every single year that he has been a starter, which is pretty insane. That's just baseline. He's going to win at least one playoff game. And the last 7 years for the Chiefs look like this. In 2018, they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. In 2019, they won the Super Bowl. In 2020, they lost the Super Bowl. In 2021, they lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. 22 Super Bowl champs, 23 Super Bowl champs, 24 AFC Championship game. The floor for their season is the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, it must be nice.
That's it.
Must be real nice being I want to see what the map looks like when they put out the map of who America's rooting for these games.
Yeah.
It's probably just Kansas, Missouri.
I think it's just Kansas.
Missouri probably.
Maybe
Texas. Yeah,
probably not.
But that's probably about it in this one.
It's crazy. They're just always there, and it is. I mean, Scott Van Pelt joked about it, like the Kansas City Invitational. That's what it's become. Where they just, I think they. Oh, I guess last year they didn't host it because they went to Baltimore, but the other 6 years, I believe they hosted all of those.
I just want to put a magnifying glass or a spotlight on Deontay Johnson's year this year because I think he's had the craziest year of any NFL player ever. So he got traded from the Steelers to the Panthers.
Yep.
He got traded from the Panthers to the Ravens. He got suspended from the Ravens. Then he got brought back and cut by the Ravens. Then he got signed by the Texans. Then he got cut by the Texans. And then he got signed by the Ravens again, mostly just for a procedural thing so they could cut him and I think get like a compensatory pick.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of it. But you have to be really bad at wide receiver to get cut by the Ravens and the Texans.
Also, probably not a great locker room guy.
In this year. Yeah, probably not a great locker room guy.
Yeah. I think there was that clip of him, like, when I think it was on the Ravens, when he got, like, one target and they won the game.
I think he was
pissed off after.
I think he was pissed after the Texans won their playoff game. I think he was upset after that.
Yeah, he should never have left Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this year to get cut from the Steelers, to get cut from the Texans and the Ravens, given their receiver injuries.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Also, getting traded away as a wide receiver from the Steelers is really bad this year.
Really bad. So, Texans, I feel like as rocky as this season looked, and it did look really rocky because C.J. Stroud, I mean, he took a step back. He was not as good as he was last year. I feel like the arrow is still pointing up for them because that defense is so legit, and you got to hope that you're not going to have two of your top three weapons get hurt like they did with Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. I know Tank Dell might not be back for a while, but that
he also came to play in the playoff game. Like that, like he showed that dog in the playoff game. Like they didn't lose because of him at all.
No, in the Chargers game they killed him, and that defense is. I mean, that was an incredible defense, and they went toe to toe with the Chiefs. I know that the final score doesn't look like that, but they were in that game for the majority of that game, and they just had a few plays, whether it be the block, field goal, missed field goal, a couple sacks here and there. Like that, if they get an offensive line and maybe another weapon, they'll be right back in the thick of it.
Yeah, after the game, C.J. Stroud was pretty realistic about it. He was like, "Yeah, I'd say this. I'm not happy with the loss, but I'm happy with how we competed, and there's some things to be optimistic about." And then they asked D'Amico Ryans that same question. He was like, "No, I'm fucking furious. This sucks. This was the worst ever."
Yeah, and there was a lot of, rightfully so, Texans players being like, "You can't." I actually thought that I saw a couple quotes, and they were essentially like, "You just can't make mistakes against the Chiefs."
Mm-hmm.
Like that they were kind of blaming the refs, but it is true. Like you just can't make a single mistake against the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is that level now where he's not the same guy that he was 6 years ago where he was just throwing bombs to Tyreek Hill, but his like savviness and ability to just make a big play when it needs to be made is so off the charts. It's like that winning his numbers don't jump off the page, but like they used to. But his ability to just win and be in big moments is so out of control that you just know the Chiefs are going to be there.
You know what's scary to think about? This right now, what we're seeing Patrick Mahomes do this season, this might be the NFL figuring out Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because when he had Tyreek Hill and he was putting up all those crazy stats and numbers, that was before defenses adjusted. Then they started running that like too high safety look on him. You're not going to score 30 points in a quarter against us anymore. And then this is the NFL figuring out Patrick Mahomes, and they won 15 games.
They went 15-2, and they're in the AFC Championship game.
Figured out.
And last year, everyone was like, the Chiefs are not good, and they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the level that Patrick Mahomes is playing at, and their defense is just so legit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their defensive line wrecks teams. McDuffie's such a stud. Jalen Watson being back was huge. And Spags is, I mean, it feels like there's like 3 or 4 times a game where Spags will just call the perfect play that it's the same thing as like a genius offensive coordinator who will call a play that no one sees coming and trick a team. He does that on defense, and it's incredible to watch because you just know if you get in a spot where you are in like obvious passing downs late in a game and you're trailing to the Chiefs, Spags will figure it out. Mm-hmm. And that's what he did.
At all the right times.
Yeah.
Hank, what were you going to say? I thought you raised your hand.
No, I mean, I understand what it was like rooting against the Patriots for a long time. I always used to do the, hate us because they ain't us, but
yeah,
it's just miserable. It's slow death. No one's rooting for the Chiefs. At least, like, I'm not.
I like that. They hate us because they ain't us.
Better be rooting for the Bills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's our friend Josh.
Rooting for your friend Tom Brady's dynasty. And
Josh got to do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Chiefs, they pounce on everything. They just do. They're gonna keep doing this year in, year out. And when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, if it means that he has to throw 150 yards and win, he'll figure out a way to do that.
Right.
And guess what? Their running game will probably be cooking that game.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really have. I mean, we said it with the yards gained. I mean, like I said, the field position was great for them, but it's not. I mean, Kareem Hunt carried the ball 8 times. That was their leading rusher for 44 yards, and Pacheco had 5 rushes for 18 yards. Like it was Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes making big plays.
In a sick twist, as Chiefs fans and Chiefs players have been, scrapping around looking for bulletin board material wherever they can find it for the last 3 seasons, because everybody respects the Chiefs. Everybody knows how good they are. Now they've got the bulletin board material of, one, Patrick Mahomes did not make the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. That was unnecessary bulletin board material that we gave them in America. Number 2 is talking about the refs. That has somehow become a strength of theirs, where they're like, all you guys are going to do is complain about the refs.
Talk about the refs. Travis Kelce being washed in the regular season. His over-under yards for the playoff game was 50.
Yeah, I think they were saving him.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
He has to show up in the playoffs, and that's what he does. So it's Mahomes, the refs, Travis Kelce. Also remember that stat, they're one of 3 teams to not score 30 points.
Yep.
That's still going. Mm-hmm. Do you know who scored 30 points 11 times? The Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. The Chiefs are not trying to win style points. They're just winning football games, and they do it at a level that is insane.
I respect the hell out of the Chiefs for being able to do this.
I do
keeping
too.
this up. It's honestly pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Mahomes has reached a different level where it's not the wow eye-popping numbers that he's had in years past, but it doesn't matter because he's just he's thinking the game at a different level. Mm-hmm. And every time you need a big play, it's Mahomes. And yeah, I mean, the Chiefs fans, I think Chiefs fans need to just embrace the fact that the refs did help them in this game and just be like, sorry, don't make mistakes. Yep. Don't ever lead with your helmet within 10 yards of Patrick Mahomes. If you put your helmet even 10 yards within Patrick Mahomes, there's a chance it's going to get flagged.
It probably will.
Yeah, so just don't do it.
Yeah, and you mentioned it in the fastest 2 minutes, they did have the box of the year.
Yeah.
They had Taylor Swift, Caitlin Clark, Tommy Alter, our friend. Put some respect on Tommy. Was just lingering in the background of that.
Big time lingering.
Then they had Donna Kelce, right? She was up there.
Yep.
Donna Kelce. Was Mr. Kelce around?
I don't know. He never gets talked about.
Never gets FaceTime. But
Mr. Kelce never gets it.
Yeah.
Box here is also Dave Portnoy's dream box.
Yep.
It was. He probably saw that and was like, man, I wish I was there.
Are you guys box guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Just the box, or do you need the game? You need TDs around
I
the
would
box?
like the game, yeah. No, I would like the game. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could just watch a box.
I could.
I love being in a good box.
Yeah. But not watching the box.
But if you go into a box, you're just not going to watch the game?
No, but if you're watching the box.
I like going inside the box.
You would like to just watch the box instead of the football game?
Yeah, sometimes I would like to just watch the box.
I'd like to watch the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I want everything around the box. What's a box if you don't have the football game going?
The goal is to get into the box.
What's a box if you're not inside of it?
The box that's what you want to get into.
Yeah. That's just just looking at a picture of a box.
Right.
And that doesn't do anything.
No, exactly.
Sometimes the chase to get in the box is better than being in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you never get in the box, though, that kind of sucks.
It does, yeah. You look back on it, you're like, maybe I could have gotten in that box, but we'll never know.
I should have just asked if I could have gotten in that box. Yeah. And the box would have been like, yeah, why did it take you so long to ask? Mm-hmm. That is always the worst feeling.
But then maybe there are some boxes that you think that you could have gotten into, but in reality, you wouldn't have. But you always will go on thinking, I could have been in that box. And you can tell your friends, I could have been in that box.
Oh, yeah, those are some of the best boxes when you go and you're like, oh, did you see how many boxes I could have gotten into tonight? But I didn't. You know what? I'd rather just have pizza.
All of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I'd rather just have pizza and hang with the boys at 2 a.m. instead of getting into all those boxes that were inviting me.
Mm-hmm. When you saw Tommy, your friend, in the box, were you like, damn, were you mad or were you happy?
No, I asked him to please not shower so I could smell him after.
I was happy. I was super pumped for Tommy.
Yeah.
You got to gas your bros up.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, we did. We texted him. We're like, dude.
Big time.
How sick was that box?
Looked pretty sick.
It looked really sick.
Yeah.
Chiefs are just going to go to the Super Bowl again, aren't they?
I mean, you'd be a fool to write them off or to doubt them.
I tweeted it a month ago. I was like, everyone needs to just recognize that the Chiefs are going to three-peat and then act accordingly. And it's not like I'm rooting for the opposite to happen. I bet the Chiefs in this game because I was like, well, it's playoff Mahomes. And I was actively rooting for the Texans during the game. Also,
it was the Travis Kelce parallel to the ground touchdown. That's when it was
backward.
Yeah.
That's Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's like he just
stood there looking at the defender like you tried.
And he's going to have like 2 or 3 of those plays a game where like no one else can do that. And he did that. And that's why he's Mahomes and everyone else is everyone else. I like just thinking about this game. What like I do want to say anyone who bet -9.5, apologies, because I know it was 8.5 all week, and then on Saturday it was 9.5. That safety was so fucked. That's an all-time
after the missed field goal.
After the missed field goal, where you're like, holy shit, we did it, and then to lose it. I think some people pushed it 9 as well. That's one that you have a right to complain about, just as much as the Texans can complain. Again, I don't think I think the Texans, when you score 1 touchdown and have those gaffes on special teams, you can't be like, man, we should have won that game if those calls go differently. But that's common sense. That's the 2 things can be true. That's common sense. A rational fan brain, complain the fuck away.
Yeah, at least you have a great complaint to just bitch about.
Yeah.
You can always, in your mind, you can look back on this game a year from now being like, we should have beat the Chiefs, but the refs fucked us.
Yeah, we got screwed
and
by the refs.
That's good. It's nice to have an excuse that is not your fault at all.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else from this game? The Chiefs, I believe, are 1.5 point favorites over the Bills.
Okay.
Which, that's disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes.
I would say so.
They'll just throw that out there. I also did you guys see that picture of the Texans fans that were at the last row of Arrowhead?
No.
Oh my God. I don't know. They probably don't. If they're hearing this, if they know someone, if someone knows these people, just be like, hey, we mentioned them. I'll try to find it for you. It's like a narrow portion where like they were so far up there and it was so cold and so windy that I don't know how they survived. And those fans need a shout out. Let me find a picture. Can you find it, Max?
One thing I do like
look
about
up
the
Texans fans Arrowhead.
The cold weather is when the coaches wear the ski mask on the sidelines, because the one that goes like above your mouth, it blocks out the lip readers out there.
Yeah.
It's perfect. That's
True.
why Andy Reid has a big mustache.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, look at that. Look at that picture.
Yeah,
those Texans fans. I don't even know if they make you pay for those seats.
Is that a safe row?
It's crazy.
That structurally sound?
That's so far up there. And like they're just getting their fucking dicks kicked in by the wind up there.
Yeah, that's like that thing that leans out over the Willis Tower.
Yeah.
That you look at.
Yeah. So shout out those Texans fans. Arrow pointing up for the Texans. I really do think that. Like this was weirdly bad season because the injuries and CJ Stroud step back, but they're gonna be there next year.
Yeah,
and they are the only team to never be in a championship game. I think I saw that stat.
I didn't think that CJ played bad. I think that this is something that you can be happy with going into next year.
And remember, you have more playoff wins than the Cowboys since your franchise was created.
Pretty good.
Just we made that graphic. Just take that graphic, save it in your phone, show it to everyone. Okay, before we get to the night game, does everybody here know what season it is?
Football season?
Football, yes. Hockey.
Basketball?
Yeah, that's right. But it's also tax season,
Ooh.
Which we all know Hank is not a fan of. How you feeling about that, Hank?
I actually feel good about tax season this year because of Tax Act. You're not going to believe this, but Tax Act is great. It's a do-it-yourself tax filing software company. That's what I've been using to do my taxes this year. I've been getting ahead of it. They have step-by-step guidance that makes filing easy. Who doesn't want to do their taxes to be easy, right? Everyone?
Right.
And if you have a question, you get stuck, they have US-based tax experts who know the ins and outs of the tax system to answer your questions. Super, super easy. Makes the process fly through. And you can check it out for yourself. Just go to taxact.com. Go to taxact.com. If you need a little help or a lot, there's a level of service for you. They can answer all types of tax-related questions. You'll talk to a credentialed tax expert. So go to taxact.com. Check it out for yourself. Now's the time of year. Get ahead of it. Don't be like me in the past. Be like me of the present and get ahead of your taxes. Use Tax Act.
Love that, Hank. Okay, night game. Commanders 45, Lions 31. PFT. What a game.
Yeah.
What a fucking game.
If you're a Lions fan, please fast forward probably for the next 3 minutes. I understand that you would not want to
be longer than that.
That you would want to listen to this.
Yeah.
But for the first time that I can ever remember in my life, I'm thinking Soupy. I'm finally thinking Soupy. And the turnaround this team had is fucking unreal from last year. Last year, the Commanders were 4-13. We had the worst defense in the NFL, ranked number 32. We had the 25th offense in the NFL, a minus 189 point differential. This year, 14-5, 16th ranked defense, 5th ranked offense, 1st ranked offense on 4th down. A couple weeks ago, we weren't sure if they were good. We thought that they just won games. They're good.
Yeah.
They just kicked a great team's ass in their house. They're a fucking good team. And Jaden Daniels, he is God. He's the best. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC. I think he's probably top 5 in the NFL. This team is just incredible to watch. It was a lot of fun. That second quarter was it was nuts. Just score. And the defense stepped it up big time, creating turnovers. The interceptions of Jared, the interception of the trick play that Ben Johnson tried to run. They did kind of a bend but don't break thing. The Lions were scoring touchdowns. They were gashing us with Jahmyr Gibbs. And then for some reason, they kept putting Montgomery back out there. On Friday, I said, Montgomery's a great player, and he's tough as fuck. If he's battled back and he's playing in this game, I respect the hell out of him. But at the same time, if you're going to tell me I'm either getting Montgomery on the field or Gibbs on the field, as a Commanders fan, give Montgomery as many touches as you can possibly give him, because we couldn't stop Jahmyr Gibbs at all. And yeah, they scored their points. They took their shots, but their defense, I think, probably sustained too many injuries over the course of the season to be able to do much to stop the Commanders. But it's incredible. It's been such a fun season, and Jaden is the first quarterback that's drafted in the top 4 to ever make a championship game as a rookie. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was scared going into the game. I wasn't feeling confident until we recovered that onside kick at the end. But yeah, man, I think we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
That's what Jaden has done. I don't think that we're the best team in the NFL. I don't think we necessarily have the best roster top to bottom in the NFL, but I think that we could beat any team on any given Sunday. And the keys to the game, fuck them up, put the women and children to bed. Jaden Daniels and the hype video, 4 check marks.
Which was a great hype video.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great
Max
hype
didn't
video.
care
I watched
for
the whole thing. It was a great hype video. And then I listened to Coldplay in my car.
Yeah.
I did.
That's
when you know a hype video is good, that you listen to the song after the hype video.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
That's a lie saying that I didn't care for it. I thought it was a really good video, but other people agreed with me that it seemed more like a end of season video.
Guess what? It
worked. It worked.
Was it supposed to hype up other people or Commanders fans?
No, there was Commanders fans that were saying that too.
No, I didn't see that. I did. I saw almost 100% approval rating on the hype video.
No, everyone said it was a good video. It was a great video. It's just the vibe. But, it worked. So what can I say? It worked.
Yeah, it was telling a story. I was telling a story.
It was a great storytelling. This game, to me, came down to 2 things. One, a guy by the name of Philly Mays on Twitter tweeted out, the Lions may win this game by 100 when they were up 7-3. That was almost instantly proven incorrect. And then the real thing was, I think we all had the same thought when we were watching this game. Commanders were incredible in the first half. And we're like, can they hold on? And what happened in the second half? Commanders get the ball, 3 and out. Lions go down the field, score, make it a 3-point game. You're like, uh-oh, here it comes. And then Jaden Daniels went on a 15-play, 70-yard drive, started with 8:28 in the third quarter, gave the ball back to the Lions with 13:29 in the fourth quarter, got a touchdown, back to a 10-point lead. That was it. Like that drive, because that was the moment. That was the moment, and I think I tweeted Jaden Daniels is unflappable. That was the moment where the Commanders could have blinked. And you're in a ruckus environment. You're an 8.5-point dog. You just went 3 and out. They just went and scored. It's a 3-point game, and he didn't blink. And he's special. Like, that's what I wrote down right here. Jaden Daniels is special. He's incredible. Like, his rookie season has been out of this world, probably one of the best of all time rookie seasons. Obviously, I get tagged in a lot of tweets. He's way better than Caleb Williams right now. I still have hopes for Caleb Williams, but I also think that if Jaden Daniels was drafted by the Bears, he wouldn't have been good. That's neither here nor there. This is more about Jaden Daniels. He's special. He's an incredible, incredible talent. And I said this to you on Friday. I was like, I went in the game being like, the Lions are better, but Jaden Daniels is just different.
Yeah.
And like that was, I kept on saying in my head, I ended up betting the Commanders on the spread. I wish I'd bet a money line, but I just kept on saying like, whatever's happening here, it's a whole team believing and this guy just carrying them all to this place where it's like they're just everyone's playing better and everyone plays different, knowing they have that guy who can make those type of drives and those type of plays, fourth down plays, where it's incredible.
So on fourth down, I noticed this early on in the season, like third and short, fourth and short, Jaden Daniels just doesn't care. He just doesn't care at all. He's the same guy. He acts like it's a 1st and 10 every time. He acts like it's the easiest play in the world. He's unflappable. He's cool. He does not panic ever. So when we do these fourth down conversions, I'm always like, yeah, you know what, Dan? Fuck it. Let's go for it.
Except for Marcus Mariota. That was one of the worst.
That was bad. So I think we were 3 for 4 on fourth down conversions.
Don't take the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands.
Don't do it. With the Commanders, I think after Saturday night's game, we now have the most fourth down conversions in playoff history after 2 games. Like they go for it. They're consistent. Dan Quinn's been doing this all year. He out-Dan Dan.
Yeah.
This is the type of game plan that Dan Campbell's known for. Dan Quinn did it. We executed better. Just he does not give a fuck that it's fourth down.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. He doesn't feel emotions. He just goes out there and he acts like it's practice.
The term Orlovsky, I like the term he uses. He says pocket peace.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he's
I like that.
got the best pocket peace. Like he's just peace. He's at peace
he's
in the pocket.
He's unflappable. That was the 2 words: unflappable and special. Like there's just something going on there where the game is slowing down for him almost, where he just looks like he's playing it at a completely different speed than everyone else. Also, to add to your like turnaround, each of the top 8 Commander tacklers this year on defense were not on the roster a year ago.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury and your ownership group and your GM, everyone. Like watching this, I've come to peace with it. Obviously, I've had mixed feelings where I tried to fight against it, and I was like, "Fuck, this isn't happening." Jaden Daniels is special. I've given up probably like 3 weeks ago where I was like, "This is just." I think it was the Falcons game where I was like, "Why even fight it? The guy is on another level." And if anything, it gives hope to anyone who roots for a bad team. Is like, you just got to get a new owner.
Yeah.
And then everything can work because Dan Quinn, everything's working for him, and everything's working for Cliff Kingsbury. Everything's working for Jaden Daniels. The only thing that's not working is Stu Feiner did say that after everyone on the Commanders hugged Magic Johnson after the game that the whole team is out with AIDS next week.
Well, that's not true scientifically.
Yeah, that was Stu going back in his bag.
But you know what? It's the playoff. Everybody's dealing with something.
Yeah.
Everyone's nicked up in the playoffs.
No, it's crazy. I'm happy for you. It's crazy. Like, I know people are like, "Oh, you're not actually happy for him." I gave up on trying to fight it, like I said, a month ago, where it's like you just got to sit back and watch and be like, this is what we're watching is incredible, and enjoy it as a sports watcher and not think about, what could have been. It's just he's a joy to watch play football.
He's unreal. Yeah, with the turnaround that they've had and the guys on defense, the second drive that the Lions had going in, they were up 7-3 and we forced a fumble, recovered it. I think if the Lions score that, it might be a different game. But to come up with a big play at the right time between him, Jeremy Chin, Mikey Sanderstill, I fucking love this guy. I love him so much. Got 2 picks. He played receiver at Michigan too, not just cornerback. He is the best. And tough break with Sam Cosmi, who was playing well, and then he got rolled up on. Probably our best offensive lineman. He's our only Pro Bowl offensive lineman. He's now out with an ACL. That sucks. But we saw the emergence in the last couple weeks of playoff Diami. Mm-hmm. So Diami Brown is absolutely, the story behind him is wild. So Grant Paulson tweeted out these stats. Diami Brown went 4 years in the NFL without catching 5 passes in a game.
Jeez.
Not once over 4 seasons did he do it. In the last 2 games in the playoffs, 5 catches, 89 yards and a touchdown, 6 catches, 98 yards. And this is going up against Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is a great receiver that talks shit about Diami. I think that was last year, being like, tell me how many catches this guy has.
Yeah.
Like, I think he might have been drafted ahead of him, so that's one of the guys that he remembers on that list. But playoff Diami is a different guy.
Yeah.
And that drop in the bucket that Jaden had to him on that post route while he was blindfolded with the hand of the defender, just absolutely incredible stuff.
And De'Ami Brown, like what you just, all the stats you just said, that really goes back to what I was saying with Jaden Daniel being special. And you know when you're watching a special quarterback because he just elevates every single person.
Yeah.
Like every single person plays better. The line blocks better. Running backs run harder. Just everything looks better because of that guy. And I know that's oversimplifying it, but I truly believe it. That's why it's the most important position in all of American sports.
Yeah, like the culture and
Right.
the GM and the head coach and the belief in yourself, like none of that means shit unless you have a special quarterback.
Right.
And that's the biggest part of the equation. But yeah, I love Dan Quinn. I love Jaden Daniels. I love Terry McLaurin. I'm so happy for him every time he does something that stands out because it's like this guy has been a great wide receiver for some really shitty quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun seeing him. And just saying the words, the Washington Commanders are in the NFC Championship game.
It's crazy.
I feel like I died.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a dead person and this is the sixth sense or I'm in heaven. Oh, I mean, if I'm in heaven, cool. That rocks.
That means we're there too.
So it's like win-win. But yeah, I feel like I'm dead and this is something that's not real that's happening. I'd never thought that this would happen this quickly. But yeah, if you have a shitty owner, just all you have to do is protest for 20 years, have him found culpable for sexual harassment via multiple investigations, have him be investigated for cooking the books and stealing money from the other owners, and then maybe you'll end up getting him out too.
Because you agree with this statement, because what I was saying was if the like revisionist history, if the Bears had drafted Jaden Daniels, I think he would not have had this rookie year because he would have been on the Bears and we had Eberflus as a coach and all this turmoil and all this shit and offensive line, all that crap. Like, I just don't think it would have gone the same way. Just like that, if Dan Snyder still owns a team, you guys aren't in the NFC
None of this
Championship
happens.
game.
No, if Dan Snyder owns a team, the field goal last week is missing by 40 yards to the right.
Circumstance and everything around
the
it
snap
matters.
never even gets to the holder.
Yeah,
If
matters
Dan Snyder-
so much.
The Hail Mary would have never happened if it were Dan Snyder that owned the team. You don't get good luck on your side if you have a shitty owner.
I'd say the one good thing.
I do think he watched the game. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was
probably.
thinking, I hope that he watched the game, and I hope he's so fucking pissed off. I hope you're just miserable right now, Dan. Wherever you are, fuck you.
It's hard. It would be hard not to watch football.
Yeah, even if it's a team that you used to own.
I also will one spin zone because obviously, you know, the Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and my own personal hell, it does mask the fact that Dan Quinn also was a finalist for the Bears head coaching job. And they were like, nah, Eberflus.
I think he was the last person hired.
They flew him commercial.
Yeah, he was the last coach hired.
Commercial middle seat. So
and let this
that masks that whole thing.
Let this also show for the record that in case you were somehow a fucking moron and you thought that me and Big Cat no ball, Dan Quinn was the last guy on my list.
Yeah.
I did doubt Dan Quinn. I wanted Ben Johnson last year.
Hopefully that happens for me with Mike McCarthy.
I wanted Ben Johnson last year, and guess what happened? I didn't get Ben Johnson. I was upset. Instead, I got Dan Quinn. What does Dan Quinn do? He goes and he beats Ben Johnson in the playoffs.
And he gets Cliff Kingsbury.
And that
was so huge because Cliff Kingsbury has done an incredible job of basically making sure that a rookie quarterback is in the perfect spot to succeed. Essentially everything that I said that was wrong in the offseason just applied to Jaden Daniels.
You know what's crazy is
I'm a fucking moron.
that this game probably should have been 45-24 instead of 45-31. There was the phantom face mask penalty that they called. That was not a face mask. Extended that drive. That was on third and long. They would have punted that ball away, and they ended up scoring a touchdown off it.
Now, if we're going to do what ifs, I have one question for you.
Okay.
That was a crazy hit on Jared Goff on the pick six.
Yeah, but also
And he might have been concussed.
But also, Jared was kind of engaged with a different defender, and Luvu came in. It was a little bit high, but it was like bottom
I'm just
bottom of
saying
the
it's
face
crazy
mask.
in the fact that quarterbacks don't, like, usually that's a flag.
Yeah.
That's you, Max.
No.
That's a flag, Max.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
definitely.
Wait, all right. Yeah, you agree with me.
Wait, so what I'm saying is it
But
might,
he went
it
helmet
might
to
This was
helmet.
crazy.
It might be a
Yeah,
flag.
all right. I thought you were disagreeing
No,
with me. That was a
I-
crazy hit.
It might be a flag, but also Newton shoved him at the last second, so the target moves.
I mean, he launched into him, and
This is crazy.
Jared Goff probably got listen, Jared Goff played a bad game. We love Jared. He's a friend of the show, been a friend of the show since the beginning of this show. He had a bad game. He was careless with the ball. I wonder if he got concussed there because he did go back to the locker room and he got fucking wrecked on this play.
Yeah.
And that's flagged almost all the time. Like when you hit a quarterback like that after a pick, that's a flag. I mean, that's Mahomes. That's jail if you do that to Mahomes.
Yeah. Drop a bomb on you.
What are you going to say, Max?
Throw a grenade and
No, I mean, Memes told me to bring this up earlier because he was like, you have to talk about
I was always going to bring it up. Yeah.
But,
no, that was that. And I don't know if he got concussed or not. Like he obviously threw that pick before that hit, so he was not playing great before that hit, but he didn't play great after either.
Yeah, no, I don't think it made a difference in the game.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
The Lions were never winning that game. But that was a crazy hit.
That was a crazy hit.
Yeah, so it's
I mean, if they didn't the trick play interception, like that was a 10-point game. If they scored a touchdown on that drive, they easily could have won the game.
Where the Lions really lost the game,
game.
J-Mo lost the game for them, and I like it sucks because I like watching Jameson Williams play football, and he's electric, and he had that incredible run. But Jameson Williams lost this game for them in two different ways, and Jared Goff obviously deserves in the defense, all that stuff, which we can get to all the Lions stuff, but I thought the Jameson Williams trick play where he threw the ball, just don't like throw it out of bounds. I don't know, do something else. And then I actually thought in the end of the first half was where the Lions really like kind of lost the game because they're going down to score and Jared throws a pass to Jameson Williams in the end zone that gets intercepted. And that was like maybe Jameson Williams being a younger receiver where a savvy vet, you slow down and let the cornerback make contact through you and you get a flag. Like he wasn't strong enough on the ball there and the cornerback made a great play. And that was maybe the Lions are down 3 going in the half and now they're down 10 and they don't get the ball.
I thought that was a great play by Sanders Strill on that way. He kind of undercut the route.
Yeah, but he just wasn't strong enough to the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A vet receiver is stronger to the ball there than Jameson Williams.
And then he kind of mentally checked out in the second half.
Yeah. So, but we should talk about the Lions. That was about as devastating of a loss as you can have for a team. Now, I like you have a season that's a dream season in terms of record and 15 wins and number 1 seed for the first time in franchise history. But the defensive injuries, and I know, listen, everyone gets injured. I saw the depth chart. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. That they basically, I'm gonna look it up real quick. I think I bookmarked it. The Lions, because they lost to Meek Robertson in the first quarter of the game, and he's obviously a very important. Yeah, so here it is. So they had by the end of this game, they were out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week 1 starters on defense. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 backups. And what is that? 4 of them they lost the starter and the backup. Mm-hmm. They had basically no one playing defense at the end of the game. So I do feel bad in that respect because that's just the shittiest luck with injuries on defense that you could possibly have.
It's actually pretty remarkable that they got this far and they got the bye. In the 1 seed. Like they did a great job. Aaron Glenn did a great job getting every single bit that they could have gotten out of the players that they had. By the time you're on like the 3rd string at multiple positions, it's going to be tough no matter who is going to coach you up. But they did a good job this season. It ran too thin.
Yeah.
They just didn't have anybody back there.
And now you have a Lions franchise that's kind of at a crossroads because you're going to lose your offensive coordinator. You're going to lose your defensive coordinator. Most likely your defensive coordinator. Schefter already reported that Ben Johnson will take a head coaching job between the Raiders, the Jaguars, or the Bears. And you just won 15 games. You come off an NFC Championship appearance last year. You climb back to the mountain. You could see it in Dan Campbell's post-game press conference. He was crying. He was very emotional. He took all the blame. Again, I think it's when you look at like the blame pie for the Lions, Jared had a really bad game at the worst time, and their defense couldn't withstand the amount of injuries they had, and Jaden Daniels is special. Our friend Detroit Don did hit me up. He said, this was at midnight on Saturday night. He said, I'm staying off social media for a month. See you on the backside. Me and Superfan are sick.
Yeah.
And you could see it. They were showing the Lions fans at the end of the game, and it was just shock and disbelief. And I mean, the first time in franchise history that they have the path goes through Detroit, and to have that happen where it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like a crazy, bounce off a helmet. It wasn't a Hail Mary. It was the Commanders were better.
They had all the guys from Detroit. They had Calvin Johnson there. They had Barry Sanders. They pulled out all the stops. It felt like this was going to be the Lions' year if there was one. And Dan Campbell seemed to have the team just humming. Like they were playing with the same intensity in that game against the Vikings that you saw out of week 1 out of the Lions. It was a pretty incredible season for them, but you're not going to remember the incredible season. You're going to remember this is the team that should have gone farther.
How quickly is the storyline going to be that like Dan Campbell pushes too hard and the practices are too hard and that's why they're injured so much?
I actually think there will be a different story before that one.
Okay.
The story before that one will be, did Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn lose focus on this game because they were doing interviews going into this week?
Yeah, Ben Johnson didn't have his best game, although the double shovel pass was awesome.
That was a great play.
That was an incredible play. But yeah, the trick play to J-Mo was it was baffling.
And don't get me wrong,
And they were just running it. They didn't need it.
Yeah, they didn't need it.
And just run Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Like I know David Montgomery came back faster than anyone ever expected. Jahmyr Gibbs is such an insane talent, and the way he runs and how fast he is and his vision, just run the whole game through Jahmyr Gibbs.
in the first half, it was like he was averaging 15 yards a carry.
Yeah.
It was crazy. The fact that they went away from him was nuts. The Commanders also did get a little bit of luck on their side. They had, like you mentioned, okay, there's a call that probably should have been made. There was also a route that Amon-Ra just slipped on when he would have been wide open for a first down on an important drive. So yeah, there's luck.
But that's you can't.
There's
that's not that happens every game.
There's
that's
breaks,
a game of inches.
There's breaks that you get, and fortunately we got more breaks, and I think we were the better team.
Yeah, you absolutely were. And Jaden Daniels significantly outplayed Jared. Like that's just a fact. You can't sugarcoat it or anything.
I thought that there was a pretty interesting stat. This is the first time that a Josh Harris-owned team has gotten past the second round of the playoffs.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
whoa!
How many teams does he own?
Yeah, what are
Well,
the teams
he owns the Devils, the New
Okay.
Jersey Devils, and
Okay.
then I believe he owns a basketball team. I think it's the Sixers.
Oh,
He's been doing that for a while, right?
Yeah, he's had Sixers.
and
for
they
a long
haven't
time.
gotten to the.
They haven't.
We're talking football here.
No,
all right?
but Josh Harris is the owner
Keep
of.
talking shit. Keep talking
of
shit.
the
We'll see you next week.
Washington Commanders.
Oh, I can't wait.
He's the owner of the Washington
I
Commanders.
don't
talking shit.
I don't want to talk Commanders Eagles until after we talk all the games, but then I want to do.
No,
the-
but I just want to remind
wanna
him
get it.
while he's talking shit where he has to go next week.
What are the Sixers going to win the NBA championship?
That
this
was
year?
just a fact. Where was
Yeah,
the
he was
shit
just
talk?
doing
no,
facts.
no.
I'm
I get
happy
it.
for
I get
Josh
it. I know, I
Harris.
get it. I get it.
Where
I get
was
it.
the
I
shit
get it.
talk?
No, I
I'm
get
a
it. I get
fan
it.
of Josh Harris, and I'm happy that he's owning a team that's living up to his ability as an owner.
That was that was just a stat. He just did a stat.
Okay.
And everything Jaden Daniels has done for the city, I'm so glad that he was able to help Josh out in that same way. He's a DC area guy.
That was just a stat.
Josh Harris, thank you for everything that you've done for the city.
I'm happy for you, PFT.
Of Washington.
Get ready for the longest week of your life, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm taking today to celebrate just like we won a game. Today I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to enjoy the victory, and then starting Monday, guess what? Back to work.
I'm not celebrating, for the record.
Oh
Back to
wow.
work.
I am doing zero celebrating.
Back to work.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses. And you're saying act like you've been there before. I have not been here before. I'm going to enjoy a day. I'm giving myself a day. And then
As you
guess what?
should.
You're not going to see me anymore locked in. You better fucking believe I'm doing a hype video again on Friday. And it's going to kick the shit out of the last one they did.
There was rumors it might be Freebird, which is like 9 minutes long.
Yeah. We'll have to talk to
Poor
Quiggs.
Quakes.
Quiggs about that one.
Quiggs.
I haven't decided. I haven't
Clear
made a final
schedule, Quiggs.
Have not
The
made a final
advisor's
choice.
done.
advisor's
Yeah,
done.
advisor's done. He's got the
Yeah.
time.
I haven't
He's
made
got
a
the
final
bandwidth.
choice on what song is going to be the soundtrack, but Freebird is one of the names that's in the hat right now.
I'm happy for you too, PFT. I'm happy that I also made the decision to let go of just trying to fight it.
Yeah.
Like
honestly,
a month ago, I just had to do it because it's better for my mental health, and because it was like one of those things where people would text me. I think I got in a fight with SVP on text about a month ago, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, Caleb, I still think he could be great, but he had a disaster. Like the Bears were a disaster this year, and Jaden Daniels is special. Just let go."
Yeah, and the way
Let
I look
go.
at it, I honestly don't care if you're upset or not. There are a lot
No,
of
but
people.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's so upset. He mentions it." I literally
Yeah.
have Jaden Daniels is so much fun to watch.
Listen, to me, I'm not. There are people that are also out there like, oh, you know that Big Cat's so mad at you right now. I want to be perfectly clear. I'm enjoying this. The thought of whether Big Cat is enjoying my success does not ever enter my brain.
Correct.
I do not give a shit about that. I'm going to love what's happening to my team because it's a miracle what I'm seeing from the Washington. The Commanders are in the NFC Championship game.
I do think that our words get dissected over a million times. I do think people would have noticed that I have had a shift in general vibe just because it's fun to watch Jaden Daniels play football. And I'm not going to rob myself of having fun watching someone play football, just thinking about what could be because, again, Jaden Daniels would have sucked if he was on the Bears.
Yeah.
He just would have. And Caleb Williams would be here.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far.
I don't fucking know.
I had Jaden number 1 on my big board. Glad that we got our top guy. We had him tagged as a commander going into the draft. We only gave out 3 commanders tags.
That's
and
true.
He got one of them. So I had him number 1.
By the way, the NFC North, most regular season wins, 45 with 0 playoff wins.
The NFC Beast is back.
Bears had just as many playoff wins as the rest of the division.
Yep, that's a fact.
Also tied for the most wins in 2025. 1-1 with the Lions.
Yep. Who do you think had a worse time watching this weekend slate? Cowboys fans, because you've got their former defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, and then you've got their former offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, winning. Also, Jaden Daniels just tied Dak Prescott for most career playoff wins. I guess Jaden Daniels now has as many career playoff wins as Dan Snyder, too, which is pretty cool. Do you think they had a worse time or Giants fans watching Saquon?
Lions fans.
Lions fans.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for Lions fans because they're in the division and they've talked a lot of shit. I do feel bad for Detroit Don and Superfan. Yeah, those two guys specifically, I
feel bad for Lions
Sprinkles,
fans. I feel bad for Lions fans. Tortured fan bases will always have a soft spot in my heart, and I feel bad.
I feel bad for Sprinkles.
I don't feel bad that we won the game, but I feel for Lions fans.
And I feel bad for Dink.
When you have a season like that and you have the bye week,
I know.
You're not even thinking about the divisional round.
Yeah,
that's what like they got hit in the mouth and they didn't realize it till like probably halfway through the third quarter.
Their defense was just so broken. They had no names. They had guys who didn't practice, who just showed up and had to play in a divisional round playoff game.
So the top seeds are now 12-8 in their first playoff games in the divisional round. So getting the bye it's not that great.
No.
I gotta say it.
Say it.
I gotta say it.
Say it.
We love Dan Campbell. We can't keep saying the winner thing. We can't.
I didn't say winner. When did I say winner? When did I say it now? Did I say it now?
We haven't, but
I didn't say it. Did I say it?
He had to say it.
I had to say it.
But we didn't call him a winner.
We've had this back
lost.
and forth for the past 3 months.
I mean, he was a winner this year, but he's not a winner for this game. The team wasn't ready.
Correct. Yeah, I know. That's all we have to say. I had to address it.
What, did we say that Dan Campbell is a winner? Do we say that a lot?
Well, I had the argument that you can't keep calling him a winner until he wins in the playoffs.
Well,
he did go to the NFC Championship game last year.
Yeah,
correct.
And during the season, he was winning a lot of football games.
Correct, but that doesn't make someone a winner. Winning regular season games is not.
We didn't call him a winner imagine if we had started this and been like, all right, PFT, hold on a second.
But you've said it.
I know you want to talk about the Commanders being the NFC Championship game, but I'd first like to say Dan Campbell's a winner.
I also don't think that we've had long, extended conversations about what a winner
had that one
Dan
debate
Campbell
where
is.
he was like, you can't say he's a winner
until he wins in the playoffs.
I still think Dan Campbell's a very good coach. But that's something that we talked about, and he's got to win in the playoffs before we deem him a winner. Grading it on a curve, Dan Campbell's a winner because he changed the complete culture of the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
The entire culture and performance of the Detroit Lions, a franchise that just they're besides the Cleveland Browns, they're the you'd never say winning in the Detroit Lions, and he made that a real thing that happened the last couple of years. He's not a winner today. They lost. He wasn't ready.
How many playoff games would he need to win to become a winner in your eyes?
Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Okay.
That's what I said the first time.
I'm happy you addressed that because I was worried.
There's a lot of people out
for a second there. I was worried that someone was going to be like, "Hey, why didn't they talk about Dan Campbell not being a winner?"
We're gonna whatever.
Dan Campbell did not have his team ready to play.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
People are, there was a lot of blame, a lot of blame to Ben Johnson, a lot of blame to.
I said that Dan Campbell. I'm pretty sure I said that. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Dan Campbell got out-coached.
Okay, that.
Hank, are you happy he said that? He had to say it.
I had to say it.
National Sports Podcast.
I do think Dan Campbell's a very good coach, but I don't know. He didn't have his guys ready to play today.
I do think that anyone who makes the Lions a 15-win team by nature is a winner.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough thing to do.
That's almost impossible.
Getting a bye, top seed.
I mean, the most wins in franchise history.
That's crazy.
Okay.
So
Also
let me ask you this,
super
Matt.
banged up.
Are you, if you're a Lions fan, or has the thought entered your head at all? Like maybe Dan Campbell's the problem?
Should we fire? If you're a Lions fan, are you thinking? If you're a Lions fan, are you like, should we fire Dan Campbell?
I got crucified on this show when I said that you can't call him a winner until he wins in the playoffs.
He has won in the playoffs.
He went to the NFC Championship game.
But that doesn't make you a winner. Winning a playoff game does not make you a winner.
Said until he wins in the playoffs, but he has won.
But he hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Well, a lot of coaches haven't won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Should Lions fans think about Dan Campbell being fired?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That is
He's not a winner, and you need a winner to win.
That's true.
I'm not even saying that he's not a winner.
I'll tell you what.
I'm not even saying that he's not a winner. All I'm saying is that
You literally said it has to be said.
no, but it has to be. Yes, it has to be said because we had this debate.
So you are saying it.
No, I'm not saying that he's. I'm just not giving him the label of Dan Campbell winner.
So that would imply
But I'm
he's
not saying
not a
Dan
winner.
Campbell loser either.
So what is he?
He's just not. He's in
just
between.
coach. He's just
He's a
coach.
good coach.
He's
a good coach.
But not a winner.
He's not labeled winner.
Is Jaden Daniels a winner?
Well, yeah. I mean, we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him lose.
Yeah, but he hasn't won a
He's lost
Super. He hasn't
games.
We
won a
haven't seen him
Super.
lose in the
He hasn't
playoffs.
won a Super Bowl
So
though.
Andy Reid was not a winner until he went to Kansas City.
Yeah, that was literally the big thing of
He
Andy
did
Reid.
say that, but Jaden Daniels is not
That
a winner.
Josh
Allen's not a
actually
winner.
made my argument perfectly.
Yeah, that hurt. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson not winners.
Correct.
Jaden Daniels not a winner.
Not yet.
I don't know why all of us.
I'm asking.
Well, no,
just
he
asking.
is. But he might turn into a loser next week.
You're correct.
We never know. It happens that fast.
This is just a different discourse for different people.
So happy you brought this up.
You had to
I
say it.
want someone to tweet and be like, "I was waiting for Max to say that."
Max, does this have anything to do with the fact?
Memes was back here
Memes,
with me
speak
saying,
up.
Does this have anything to do with
the winner thing?
the fact
I
that
told him to take notes and then bring it up in the Eagles.
does this have anything to do with the fact that we give credit to Dan Campbell for going for it on fourth downs? Well,
Yes, this is basically
Somehow-
exactly
all
what
right,
it is.
so we're
Because
Nick
everyone
Sirianni.
called
Okay.
Nick Sirianni a loser
Okay.
and Dan Campbell a winner, but
okay. Well,
But
Nick
you
Sirianni's
called
not
Nick
a winner yet.
Sirianni. You gave us the right to call Nick Sirianni a loser by calling him a loser.
fair. But now I don't think so.
But he's not won a Super Bowl.
True. He's
also
still
not a
he's
winner.
he's in the middle. He's in the middle category.
He's coach.
He's good coach. Both in the same category of. Good coach.
I wrote down praise for Nick Sirianni. It's coming, buddy.
All right, we'll get to it.
You
We'll
should've-
get to it.
You shouldn't
We'll
have
get to
jumped the gun. I had praise for
I know.
Nick
I'm sorry.
Sirianni.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. I shouldn't have said anything.
I liked it. Fired up.
I like it, Max.
We shouldn't have said anything.
I'm going
like
to say
it.
Dan Campbell's still a winner.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
Bad game.
He's a
Bad game. What team wasn't ready? They got punched in the mouth. They're supposed to be the tougher team that punches other teams in the mouth, biting kneecaps, all that shit. That was a bad. They weren't ready, and yeah, but he is a winner.
This is what Memes really wants to talk about is PFT fucking the floor.
He was doing the J-Mo.
I did the J-Mo.
Yeah, I know. That was great.
Yeah, Jamison Williams caught the touchdown, fucked the carpet, didn't get a flag for it. He was having sex with the ground at Ford Field. So first thing I thought about was, fuck that carpet.
Also very funny because PFT was wearing an outrageous, for the outsiders, an outrageous jumpsuit, Washington Commanders jumpsuit. And Coach Gruden even said to me, he's like, can you believe what this guy's wearing today? And I had to look and be like, oh yeah, I guess for you that would be weird. I was like, I didn't flinch when PFT walked in with that on.
Number one, it's jumpsuit January.
Yes.
Number two, that's a Commander's jumpsuit.
Yep.
Number three, I've worn that jumpsuit before.
Yeah.
So I've broken it in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs. You have to pull out all the stops for the playoffs.
There's really nothing besides if you walked in with
Nude?
tuxedo,
Yeah.
then I would be shocked.
If I wear a collared shirt, people are like, "You have court later, don't you?"
Yeah, I'm like, who died?
That was the most average PFT outfit.
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
all
saying.
time.
Yeah,
So
the fact that
listening to-
anyone was
yeah.
saying anything.
Well, Gruden
is
doesn't know, so he was like, "Can you believe this?" I was like, yeah, no, I can. Yeah, that makes sense."
And Gruden, he hates the Commanders. I probably would hate the Commanders if I were him too.
Yes.
But I converted him like halfway through the second quarter. He was like, I can't root against this guy anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Jaden, if you are rooting against, obviously if you're an Eagles fan, but if you're a neutral party, it's way more fun, especially if you're a neutral party and you're, a Bears fan who has Caleb Williams, like myself. If you're a neutral party, though, it's a lot more fun to just let go and be like, he's awesome to watch. Because he is. He's awesome to watch. And that was a very fun game to watch.
I would say even probably like 50% of Eagles fans are kind of rooting for Jane Daniels this weekend because he's that fun to watch. And
I would say that's probably true.
City known for their sportsmanship.
Yeah. I'd say most Eagles fans are like, damn, he's so much fun to watch.
They'd probably be a little bit happy if they lost the game. They'd be like, you know what? I want to see that guy play in the Super Bowl.
That is incorrect. I will say, no notes for Jaden Daniels this week. He was incredible. He's really fucking good. Yeah. And the Eagles better win now because I'm scared that guy's going to I'm officially scared that he is around for like the rest of my life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh,
he is that good.
Yeah,
Max.
I
hope you live.
My life expectancy.
I hope
great.
you live more than 45.
Jane's going to be here for like 50 years.
Okay.
Nothing's ever going to be bad again.
Let's go to the Sunday games. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick break for some ads.
We'll get to the Sunday games in a second. They're brought to you by Campbell's Chunky Soup. It's soup season. What a great time of year. It's cold outside. It's going to be really cold here in Chicago this week, but the colder it is, the better the soup tastes. It fills you up. It warms you up from the inside out. I love soup. I'm eating soup almost every day. You know who else eats soup? We got players like Jason Kelsey, Montez Sweat, Frank Ragnow, Chop Robinson, Will Anderson Jr., Trent Williams, all noted soup guys. Sam Hubbard, friend of the program, also noted Campbell's Chunky Soup guy. But even guys like Sam Hubbard can't compare to the go-to spicy chicken and sausage gumbo. It's packed with great ingredients. It keeps me going strong. Today's episode of Part of My Take is brought to you by Campbell's Chunky Soup. It is the soup that eats like a meal. When you think chunky, think of players like that. Think of big, beefy, strong, powerhouse, 250 pounds of pure, unstoppable energy type players. Chunky takes satisfaction to the max this soup season. Grab a can of Campbell's Chunky Soup today. Get involved with soup season, Campbell's Chunky Soup. These games were also brought to you by our great friends at Doritos. I love Doritos, the perfect chip, perfect snack. Somebody posted a Cooler Ranch Doritos that had the perfect amount of seasoning. It was incredible. With Patrick Mahomes' help, Doritos just revealed the top 3 ads that are still in the running to win the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl. Now it's up to the people, that's you, to choose which creator will win $1 million and have their submission run as Doritos' 25th Super Bowl ad by voting for their favorite fan-made ad at DoritosCrash.com. Now until January 28th, fans can visit DoritosCrash.com, cast their vote for who they think is winning the ad. Will it be abduction, barbershop, or charades? You have 8 days left to vote. Vote for the next Super Bowl ad at DoritosCrash.com. Now back to the games.
Okay, Max. Eagles 28, Rams 22. Saquon Barkley. That's it. Saquon Barkley. I mean, obviously the Eagles defense as well, which I want to talk about, but Saquon Barkley is so fucking good. Saquon Barkley had, that was his 6th touchdown of 60-plus yards. 4 of the 6 have come against the Rams. He had 534 total yards is the most a player's ever had against another opponent in a season. And he only played the Rams twice. Think about that. He only played them twice. He had 534 total yards of scrimmage. The run in the first half, the run to end the game, he is so goddamn good. And Max, did you see that clip, which was one of the coolest things I've ever seen? Before the 78-yard touchdown, he turned to Jalen Hurts. They did a mouth reading. He said, "Watch this." He just knew what was going to happen, and he ripped off a 78-yard run. And the Eagles are back in the NFC Championship game. Nick Sirianni, really good coach, winner. Nick Sirianni is now 3-0 versus Sean McVay. Nick Sirianni is 8-0 versus Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, and Dan Campbell. That's pretty good.
It's a winner.
Those are 3 coaches that everyone's, like, hey, coach of the years and everything. Super Bowl coach and Sean McVay. He's 8-0 against those guys. That's a winner.
I may jump the gun a little bit here.
Why?
Yeah,
you didn't know I had that stat written down.
I may have jumped the gun a little bit.
I was going to be praising Nick Sirianni.
I may have jumped the gun a little bit here. That's fair. Sometimes you got to.
You have to say.
I had Dan Campbell in the stat.
That's on me. Sometimes I get a little excited.
Oh,
that's fair.
man.
Well, it's more so whatever.
It had to be said.
It had to be said. It had to be said.
And to be fair, he's beaten a bunch of losers.
Yeah,
so.
but it had to be said. But
that's on me.
Those 3 coaches, you would say, if you're like, hey, who are the top 3 coaches in the NFC? I mean, maybe you throw in Kyle Shanahan as well, but those are 3 names that come up, and Nick Sirianni has not lost to any of those guys. He's 8-0, and the Eagles, Jalen Hurts gets hurt. I don't know what his status is, Max. Can you tell us? Also, shout out Mother Nature because she showed up at the perfect time.
Got a great snow game, yeah.
Kurt Warner was sick.
I love it. I love it when playoff games are half not in the snow and then the second half in the snow.
Yeah.
Gruden kind of was, we were watching the game with Gruden, and he kind of had the same take as Kurt Warner.
Really?
Yeah, he's like,
wait, play Kurt Warner's take, because he still fights this all the time. This is from our show.
He says it's football weather. This is what it is. But here's the problem that I have, and it doesn't necessarily apply to these 2 teams, but being a guy that played in a dome, being a guy that played in Arizona, I have no way to get ready for those conditions. And so you can say all you want about home field advantage, and that's why you play. Well, no, because the Patriots can come to Arizona, and there's no difference other than we have our fans, obviously, but they can play in my weather. I can't play in their weather because I can't get used to it. There's nothing you can do to get used to cold weather in a situation. So to me, I'm just like, I want the best. I want to be able to be my best. I want to play against their best, and I want the best to advance. And so for me, last night, I mean, I played in that weather before. I grew up in Iowa, so I played in all that stuff.
I feel like this.
It's just like
this take makes me even.
I'm sure when he kicked
more
it, he's
mad.
Like, oh, that's money. That's right down the middle.
His take is making me even more mad. He's just like, it's not fair for me.
I think it's a fair point to say,
I mean, it's easy
I
to
can't
say,
simulate practicing in the snow.
Of course.
But this is also what
get home
makes,
field advantage.
This is what, get number 1, win more games. Number 2, I don't really give a shit because I love watching snow football on TV. It's one of the weird things, like the NFL is a weird sport. You have to be able to respond to different things that you don't expect happening, and you have to be able to deal with shit.
Yeah.
And just as a fan watching on TV, do not take away my snow games.
Yeah.
I love watching snow football because you think back to when you were a kid and you're like, oh, I would be so good out in the snow. I was unstoppable in my backyard when it snowed outside. I don't give a shit that Kurt Warner thinks it's unfair. I think it's the best thing.
And the snow fucked up the Rams because it was, I mean, they fumbled. The Eagles didn't fumble.
Matt Stafford looked like he didn't want to be out there for the entire third quarter.
Yeah. They did, by the way, the Eagles also didn't really love playing on it. Did you see Josh Sweat's quote after he said ass playing on the snow today? That's what he said, ass. He said, I'd rather play on the shitty Brazil field before playing on that again. I ain't going to lie to you. I like that quote.
Yeah. It's
ass.
I'm fine with the players thinking that it's ass.
Yeah. But this game was very tight at the end, but the Eagles, they did the thing that they are built around. Their offensive line mauled. Saquon Barkley was special, and their defense was incredible. Because Jalen Carter was insane.
The guy scares me.
He was so good. He had 5 tackles, 5 pressures, 3 QB hits, 2 sacks, 2 fumbles, or one forced fumble, and 2 tackles for a loss. And he made the biggest play. Like, Vic Fangio obviously deserves a lot of credit as well, because what he was doing in that game, when I think it was around the second quarter, they started stunting, and you could see Stafford was like, it was fucking Stafford up, because he'd try to step up and there'd be a guy in his face. And then on that second, what was it, 3rd and 2 on the 13-yard line with a minute and change left, they faked a stunt, and that's where Jalen Carter just basically blew right by his guy because he tried to pass him off. And that was the game. Like, that sack saved the Eagles' season, because I do think, if you even watch that play, Tyler Higbee was wide open. He had beaten his guy. Tyler Higbee was going to catch that ball, maybe even score on that play, and Jalen Carter made the play and save their season.
Yeah, they got dudes up front that will just wreck your shit constantly.
Yeah.
The defensive line scares me on the Eagles very much. And then when they're not getting cute, when they decide, okay, we're just going to hand the ball to Saquon because he's the best, and we're going to let our offensive line do what our offensive line does the best, then they're almost impossible to stop. I don't know how you slow them down.
Yeah.
Have you let go of Jalen Carter too?
That one's totally different because you can't say the Bears don't address offensive line and be like, we should have taken Jalen Carter, but then we also took Darnell Wright in that position, who's a really good offensive lineman, and then got Dexter as well in the second round, who's a really good – he's not Jalen Carter, but you can't criticize the Bears for not like being like, why didn't you address offensive line? Also, why didn't you take Jalen Carter? We got Darnell Wright. He's a really good offensive lineman. You can't have it both ways.
But when you're watching it, you're not like, fuck.
Honestly, Dexter's really awesome, and I said it at the time, Jalen Carter would have been drafted to a locker room that was in complete flux, and he had some character issues, and I don't think it would have worked the same. He went to a locker room with Brandon Graham and a bunch of veterans who probably
Fletcher Cox,
who probably helped him a lot. You got to know, like, hey, we have a rebuilding team that sucks ass. If we draft Jalen Carter, it might not work out.
You could probably also make a criticism for every other team that did not take Jalen Carter.
There was 8 picks before.
C.J. Stroud, or who else got drafted before him?
I don't know. But either way, you got Darnell Wright, who's a really good offensive. He's our best offensive lineman, so you can't, you know what I mean? You can't be like, man, they don't do anything for the offensive line. Oh, yeah, you should have taken Jalen Carter.
So let's see here. We got the draft order.
But yeah, I mean, that's also like the Bears' history is like, oh, that guy could have been.
Okay. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, great players. Anthony Richardson.
Cardinals could have used him.
Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Paris Johnson. Yeah.
Tyree Wilson.
Yep.
That's probably the one that's really, if you're a Raiders fan, that should have been Jalen Carter. But yeah, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs went 12th.
Yeah, and people shit on that pick.
Yeah. By the way, Saquon Barkley wouldn't be a top 30 paid wide receiver.
That's crazy to say.
Gabe Davis gets paid more than him.
It's also, I think it's fair to say that the better your team is, the more you should spend on running back.
Yeah, of course.
As like the final piece to make you like a great team. It's like a tight pair of jeans. Like if you're in really good shape, then yes, spend a lot of money on tight, fashionable jeans. If you're fat, buy Jinkos.
It's why I have some sympathy for Giants fans who have to fight this fight. And yes, you probably should have kept Saquon Barkley. Probably shouldn't have paid Daniel Jones. Hindsight 2020, although a lot of Giants fans said that in the moment.
Yeah.
But Saquon Barkley on the Giants this year doesn't make the Giants a playoff team. Mm-hmm. It makes them more fun to watch. They probably win a couple more games because he's their most explosive player. But you're right. Like Saquon Barkley works when it's on a great team, and then he becomes the complete X factor that can dominate these type of playoff.
Like Derrick Henry.
Yeah, right.
If the Cowboys had signed Derrick Henry, who gives a shit?
Right.
But yeah, on a
Derrick
great
Henry's
team,
on the Panthers. Not the Panthers deserve credit. If Derrick Henry's on the Raiders,
yeah,
doesn't change anything. Max, let's hear from you.
It was a hard-fought game. Snow games are tough. We're kind of built for it. The offensive line was fantastic. Those 2 long touchdown runs. Saquon burst through the line and was, once he gets through, he's gone. But they're huge holes, and those huge holes are from the offensive line just dominating the trenches. I'm happy with the win, but we're on to next week. The goal is to win a Super Bowl. The goal is to win a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. And I'm happy with taking this step.
That's very good.
Can I give you...
And you get a home game.
Yeah, you get a home game.
And we get a home game.
Can I give you 2 stats, Max, that might be of use for you in terms of online discourse?
Sure.
Okay. Here's the first one. The Eagles in the playoffs are 4-0 when Jake Elliott misses an extra point.
That's crazy.
Maybe
crazy.
He's missing him on purpose.
I'm so nervous about him.
He's nerve-wracking.
So bad right now.
He's nerve-wracking.
So bad.
Here's another one. Jalen Hurts didn't really. I mean, the weather was a big factor. He also was banged up. Jalen Hurts in his 4 playoff wins, 154 yards passing, 121 yards passing, 131 yards passing, 128 yards passing. Doesn't matter.
Is that because they're running the football?
Yeah, but he also does
that's
more.
game
I'm saying,
script.
I know. I'm saying, like, don't. I'm giving you these stats to use.
Yeah. No, I
Like, he
that's a good
doesn't have
stat.
to be. What he had the incredible Super Bowl. They lost.
Yep. No, I
These are
agree.
good stats.
I agree.
Maybe Jake Elliott might. That one might be a little
that's a
more
bad stat.
precarious,
That's a bad
but yeah.
stat.
But it's still 4-0.
Right. No, I had the one stat
Jake
I was
Elliott's a
going to
winner.
do.
Winner.
I was gonna
Jake
do-
Elliott's a winner.
He wins games.
I wish I shouldn't have
Needs to
said
be
that. The reason why I said it is because the Eagles fans are so pissed off at Nick Sirianni right now because
For what?
for the pass play on second down when they had the ball where Hurts took the sack.
Yeah, but on the sliding scale of things that you should be upset with Nick Sirianni for, I think like Philly fans are going to be upset about something.
Right.
Probably.
That was a bad play call.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad play call, but ultimately, I think Sirianni, he did the right thing today.
Also, that's Kellen Moore, no?
So that I had this whole thing in my head that that was going to be a topic of conversation, and you were going to blame Sirianni. I jumped the gun. Sometimes you jump the gun.
In the moment, we said, why are you taking a quarterback that can't run right now, rolling him out to his left and having him try to escape the pocket and then stop, throw across his body? And then we said, that's a weird play call. That's on Kellen Moore, isn't it? And we were like, yeah, it is.
This is the most Max thing ever, that he had a pre-fight
yeah.
with us. A hypothetical pre-fight.
Wait, you want to just let's run it back and play into his fantasy.
Yeah, but he had
thank you.
he had a hypothetical pre-fight and never in the wildest imaginations realized that I actually wrote down pro Nick Sirianni stuff instead of negative Nick. We're so in his head that he's thinking, is the Mad Men mean? Like, we're not even thinking about you, dude.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
We're just talking about the games.
I wish I could rewind time and not have that fight that I had
Instead of
earlier.
enjoying the win, you're just paranoid. Like, at least PFT's giving himself a day to enjoy the
This
win.
is why you need to give yourself a mental day.
I gave myself an hour.
We've actually caused psychological harm to you.
Yes.
Like I will take hand up. Everyone in this room should put their hand up.
Memes, put your hand up.
We have battered
Memes
this.
just said, "What did I do?"
We have battered this man to
the amount
point.
of fucking memes that are about me.
the amount of Max face photoshops that he's done.
We have battered this
be
man
on
to
a
the
list
point
somewhere.
where he is literally fighting his shadow.
Yeah, no, I'm a broken man, and that's the other thing. Like
He won.
I think Dan
Yeah, I feel
Campbell's
like
a good coach.
Do you talk
that's
to
why-
yourself in the
Oh,
shower?
You're still fighting yourself.
I know. I think Dan Campbell's a good coach. I wish I didn't make that fight.
It had to be said, though.
No, I'm so happy you did that because of this moment right here where we just fully went into Max's mind, and Max's mind is just like, it's Max, larger man with his hair up in a ninja thing. He's got a kimono on, and he's got maybe the Donatello stick. What is that called?
The Kinja stick?
Yeah, whatever. The Kinja stick.
Yeah.
And he's just Kinja sticking all four of us in his brain constantly. He's like, oh, I got to get them this. And I didn't even think I was in your brain, but I guess I am.
Yeah,
I need a graphic of that. You Kinja sticking like the four of us.
I don't know if it's called a Kinja.
Inside of your brain.
Let's see what it's called.
you want to know another secret?
Yeah.
I had another fight planned in my head as well.
Oh, tell us.
I was gonna do blind quarterback resumes for the day, and then do Josh Allen stats and Jalen Hurts' stats.
Never was.
Yeah.
Never.
Yep, nope, I had
had
that.
a positive Jalen Hurts
I know,
stat.
I know.
I mean, his touchdown run was awesome.
I know.
And he got banged up. Like, it was clear that he was in. AJ Brown dropped an easy ball that would have made his stats look a little bit different.
He was a tough dude today.
I thought
he's a tough guy.
he made that one throw to double coverage to AJ Brown was bad in the end zone. That was a bad throw. That was a bad decision. But otherwise, he played winning football. Like, he made the plays that he had to play, and he knows that he's got a running back that can do everything. Do you want to do that fight with him?
Well,
no, thank you. I would
no,
prefer
I was-
for my mentals.
My next thing was just I thought the Eagles, I thought they executed well today. Sirianni's play calling at times left me with a big question mark.
Yeah, on offense and defense.
Offense and defense.
Yeah, he went into Sirianni went in
But-
prevent defense way too early.
You've got Saquon Barkley as your running back, Nick.
Yep.
And on second down, when you have the opportunity to ice the game, burn the clock, you're having your injured quarterback roll out to his left, throw across his body. What the fuck what kind of play call was that shit?
Oh, let me guess. Nick, did you, after Saquon Barkley ran a 74-yard touchdown pass, did you look into the camera and point at it?
I bet he
Oh,
did.
so sick, dude.
I bet he did. That was just it's what goes on in this guy's brain sometimes. It makes me question.
He's got shit for brains.
Yeah.
He's going to be there undoing.
Dumbass.
Thoughts?
I would like to pass on this discourse.
Hank, do you have anything to add?
It had to be said.
I just had I want you to come and look at my notes after this, just so you can see that I literally had it all written down.
Yeah,
The
that's...
Jalen Hurts, like, people are going to shit on Jalen Hurts. He does what he's supposed to do. And yeah, there'll be moments where he has to make some more throws, but he was clearly hampered by both snow and injury. Is he going to be okay?
That's a question mark. His answers to that question after the game were not great.
Why?
What were his answers?
They asked about him. He said, "We'll see how the week."
What was the
week works out,"
injury?
or something like that.
He got squished on his knee.
I know.
Yeah,
Was it like a knee sprain?
his knee. Also, the hip drop tackle just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like every single week, there's a hip drop. Like I'm not saying that should have been called one, because they just haven't been calling it at all. But why do they implement that rule into the game if they're just never going to call it?
Because they wanted to invent something that looked like they were doing something for player safety.
Right.
So they made the most nebulous tackle of all time a penalty, where it's like we're probably not even going to enforce it during games because it's impossible to tell what is a hip drop tackle. But if there's somebody that gets injured, we can always find that guy a week later.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Is Quinion Mitchell going to be okay?
That seems, honestly, which is crazy because Jalen Hurts finished the game. Quinion Mitchell did not. The reports of that is that he will be fine, but Jalen Hurts is still up in the air.
Okay. So
If I had to guess, I think I'm optimistic about Quinion Mitchell. It seems like that it's just a sprain and that he'll be ready to go almost at 100% next week. Jalen Hurts, if I had to make a guess, and I'm pretty confident in this guess, I think he will be playing at probably around 60 to 70%.
I just want to say for the record, I want the Eagles to be healthy. I want all their starters. I don't want injuries. Max and I agreed to turn injuries off this week. I want the Eagles at their best.
I also would like to say this. I want the Commanders at their best as well. And I take back a lot of the criticism I had towards the Commanders. They are a worthy opponent, and I'm looking at them.
I don't know that you can take that back.
No, you can't take that back.
You said a lot of things.
So you want the Commanders at their best? Will you apologize for the Brock Purdy injury?
If I could take back the Brock Purdy injury, I would.
Okay, that's a big man of you.
If I
That's
could,
huge.
I would.
So Max, we're getting a lot of questions about if we're going to do a hair bet.
Wait, let's say this for after we talk Bills Ravens. I want to preview that, like, light preview, and we can set the stage for you guys. Because I want to do that. We should talk real quick Rams. First of all, Jared Verse. I love when people talk shit and then back it up. He backed it up. He had a great game. He said that he hated Philadelphia fans. That was awesome. I think the arrow's pointing up for the Rams because they did flip this roster very quickly, but Matthew Stafford's not getting any younger.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They got strong at running back. They've got a great running back now.
Yep.
And their defense is awesome. This is a tough.
I mean, Cooper Kupp kind of disappeared at the end of the season. He's getting a little older too.
He looked okay today, but it's more like this is a weird game. This was a very tough game for the Rams to win in that environment.
And they almost
with the snow
fucking
coming down.
won.
They almost pulled it out at the end.
They were a play away.
You're not happy if you're a Rams fan. You're pissed off, but ultimately, I think the big question for Rams fans is how much older are we going to let Matt Stafford get?
Right.
Before we do something about it.
Right.
It's not like Matt Stafford sucks. He doesn't suck.
No.
But you have to naturally ask that question.
And they stayed in this game. I mean, it was a nerve-wracking game. I mean, even the sack. Should we talk about the overalls? What's the plan? So for people who didn't watch the stream, we had a couple things working mojo-wise. Obviously, the Rams were my pinky team. I may be done with the pinky bet because that was the most I've been afraid. And I know people are like, they were 2 games away from the Super Bowl. The idea of the Rams being able to host an NFC Championship game And then you're one, like if a pinky team ever gets to the Super Bowl, I'm going to shit myself. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a wreck.
I think the move is if it's like the Chiefs and the Rams in this year's Super Bowl, then you just bet your dick on the Chiefs, and that way, if the Rams win, at least I only cut my finger off.
That's true. That's a good point. But I might be done with it because it was.
You're actually playing. You're doing the pinky bet in the safest era to do it in because it's just Patrick Mahomes every year.
True. But there's just no upside. It was the moment when I had to explain it to Coach Gruden, and he's like, "What?" It really stuck to me. Like, why do you do this? But what? Listen, I'm not going to make any rash decisions.
Yeah.
After successfully keeping all 10 of my fingers for another season, it's an emotional season, a long season, like Dan Campbell said. So. I'm not gonna do any retirement talk until we maybe get into the offseason.
You're gonna see how you feel after training camp.
That was insanely stressful. I think Max, you felt the stress on me, but we had two things. We had the TV broke in the gambling cave for the first quarter, and they had to reset it. And I pulled up my phone, and as I pulled up my phone, Jalen Hurts ran for a touchdown, and after he ran for a touchdown, the TV came back on, and Jake Elliott missed a extra point. So for the rest of the game, I was basically playing a game of should I watch it on my phone? Should I not? I went and took a shit and watched it on my phone, and the Rams went 3 and out, and I was like, there's something about this phone. And then we also had Max overalls. He had a sweatshirt on over his overalls. We flipped a coin to see if he should do overalls or not.
Well, the chat just started spending a shit ton of money
shout out the chat.
for me to do it. And at that point, I felt bad that fans were spending their hard-earned money to see me in the overalls, so I thought I would give them at least a drive, and then obviously
it was instant safety.
Max,
safety.
Instant safety.
Do you think they were spending their hard-earned money in the chat because they wanted to see you win in overalls, or they wanted to see you lose in overalls?
Probably wanted to see me lose, but I respect the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Max, are you going to be wearing the overalls for the NFC Championship game?
See, that's what I don't know, because I may just need to wear them underneath a sweatshirt again, because
but they're called
was the
overalls.
Yeah, so I might be
You're
wearing
not doing
underalls.
overalls. Yeah, you're wearing underalls.
I might be wearing underalls because if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right,
but
the game went well when I had the underalls under my sweatshirt.
But you're also wearing underwear. So
Correct.
you're wearing underalls over your underwear. You're wearing
Middles.
Undersums.
I'm
You're
wearing
wearing the Dan
middles.
Campbell of alls.
No, I'm not. Dan Campbell, good coach. I wish I never said that. It was pre-anger. It's pre-anger.
Sometimes more potent than just anger.
That's right. After the game, Max, to his credit, he went right into the weight room, started working out, and by working out, I mean just sitting on the bench press, just refreshing Twitter, trying to see if there were any injury news that he could.
I did end up. I think I did. I sat there for about an hour and a half, and I think I did five sets of bench press.
Oh, wow.
Which still counts.
That does count.
That still counts.
He probably also was just watching our Twitter to see if we tipped our hand on what angle we were going to use.
Yeah.
I was watching so many. I cannot wait. The one thing that I will say about the highlights, I cannot wait for the Baldy breakdown of how good Jalen Carter was in this game.
He was incredible.
He's so fucking good.
He was incredible.
And I think that scares me because being down our right guard, our best offensive lineman, it's troubling to think about that.
Yeah.
That dude scares me. Your offensive line scares me too.
He was insane. But good win.
Do you see the graphic that Memes posted? He's got a memes graveyard. So these are memes that he constructs in anticipation of something potentially happening.
Okay.
And then when it doesn't happen, then he has to just throw them by the wayside. So there's a big graveyard of memes out there that never get used.
Oh.
And the one for the NFC Championship game, if it was going to be Rams versus Commanders, was me for the Commanders and then Big Cat holding up a hand with the pinky cut off for the Rams.
And he also had Max, sad Max with my face over it. Do you see that one?
Yeah. I honestly didn't know that was your face. I thought he was just posting sad Max.
Yeah. Max, do you want to say anything about the spitting?
No, that's passion. I'll never apologize for that.
Good. Fact. Okay, we are going to talk about the matchup and little like preview of what's coming this week. But let's get to the last game before we do that. Bills 27, Ravens 25. Wow, this was an awesome game, and this is another two things can be true. Lamar had an incredible drive
Is
at
he
the end of
winning?
the game. Mark Andrews is having probably the worst night of anyone in America right now because he not only fumbled, but he dropped the 2-point conversion. Lamar had 2 turnovers, and he hasn't had 2 turnovers all year. And he now has 4 games, 4 of his 8 playoff games has 2+ turnovers. I don't want to do the Lamar sucks and Lamar, because he doesn't suck. But it's okay to say that he did not play his best when the Ravens needed him to play his best.
Sometimes it's hard to beat good teams on the road.
That's a fact.
And that's what he ran into.
Yeah.
And the Ravens, to their credit, they did keep running the ball. This is not on Harbaugh, like we could say it was last year. This game, I would say it's on 2 guys. It's probably on Mark Andrews and Lamar.
Yeah.
And the fumble that he had was a weird fumble. I don't know how he dropped that ball.
It
he
was
was getting tackled around his legs.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of dropped it.
But
It didn't get hit out.
This will obviously be the narrative coming out of this game is playoff Lamar can't get it done. And while it's very reductive to say that, because I still think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, you can't. He didn't play his best. He actually had his worst game probably of the year because he had 2 turnovers, and you need your best player to play his best in these games.
I like that we've got a nice clean hierarchy for now, though, of AFC West quarterbacks. Right?
AFC
quarterbacks. Yeah. It goes Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. And then Joe Burrow, if he was in the playoffs, he'd just probably be beating everybody.
Yeah. But it sucks for Lamar because obviously you have all this season where you were incredible. I mean, he had 4 interceptions all year, and then he threw one. And I know that was probably a miscommunication with Bateman, but the fumble led to points, and they were playing from behind the whole game. He put them in a spot where it was not great for the Ravens, and especially a team that likes to play from ahead and run the ball. I also do think that 2-point conversion, the first one, that one kind of didn't make any sense because they ran right down the field, and then they passed in the 2-point conversion.
It's not just that they passed; they also moved Derrick Henry out to the side where he wasn't even a threat of running the ball.
Yeah.
They just got him out of the play entirely.
The thing I'll say about the Bills here, so the reason why I like the Bills in this game, bet on the Bills this game, we talked about on Friday. If you thought the Bills-Ravens first game was going to be just a replay for today, you just weren't paying attention to who the Bills had back on defense. And the 2 of the biggest plays in the game came from 2 of those guys. Matt Milano tipped the pass on the first 2-point conversion to keep it a 2-point game. And then Bernard, who didn't play in the first game, had the game-changing fumble on Mark Andrews that was really that did change the entire course of the game because I don't know what the Bills' plan was. Obviously, you win and you just survive in advance. They had a very weird offensive game plan where they were just very conservative, and they didn't let Josh Allen just be Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of dump-offs, running the ball a lot. Maybe they saw something. They were like, we can control the game this way. But I thought the second half for the Bills, they were just trying to hold on instead of just taking it to the Ravens and finishing that game earlier.
I think there were multiple times where each team was just trying to kill as much of the clock as possible.
Right.
And
Scared of the other guy.
That was the game plan, is just end with the ball. And, I mean, who knows what would have happened if Mark Andrews catches that 2-point conversion. He should have caught it. It was a very easy catch for him. But, I mean, there's still a lot of time left in that game.
Yep.
This is growth, though. You want to talk about growth with Josh Allen? There was the run that he had. There was 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the game. 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Josh keeps it, runs up the middle.
Yep.
And he stops himself mid-action. He thinks about trying to pitch the ball out of a group of 4 Ravens defenders back to James Cook, who's standing 12 yards away as Josh's arms are tied up. He wanted to do it. And in that moment, Josh was like, all the people that think maybe you shouldn't be so reckless with the ball all the time, they're right in this circumstance. And he pulled it in and got tackled.
Yeah.
Like a normal guy.
That was 3rd down or 2nd down?
That was 3rd down. 3rd and goal.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That's personal growth.
Yeah, he was definitely looking to pitch it.
And it probably would have ended up costing them dearly. That would have been a tough play to make. So credit to Josh Allen for not matching all the buttons.
Yeah.
He
held on to it.
Yeah, what's the just go down button? Y?
Yeah.
He hit Y.
He made the right choice.
Yep.
Also, Josh Allen, statistically, he it wasn't like he lit the world on fire.
No.
They really didn't try to go deep often. But he's such a weapon when you get into goal line, where he had those 2 touchdown runs where it's like you get within 10 yards and Josh Allen is going to just bowl you over a couple times. And I do think they're going to have to let him be himself more against the Chiefs, because you just can't expect to beat Patrick Mahomes in his house unless Josh plays out of his mind, and I think he has that in him. But it was the Bills. Their defense stood up. Like, besides that really long Ravens drive, they had a really good plan for Derrick Henry, and they weren't going to let him. They weren't going to let the Ravens run it down their throat. You could see that from the very jump. That was their plan. They're like, we're going to have to let Lamar beat us with his arm, which he did a couple times. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, the plan worked, and they made the big plays when you had to make the big plays. They got 3 turnovers that changed the game.
They had enough plays where they stopped Derrick Henry for 1 or 2 yards and just hit the fuck out of him up the middle. That it set a tone for their defense, and Derrick was never ever like, he had a couple nice runs in the open field that they kind of shoestring tackled him on. But if you can prevent him from doing the home run ones where he goes 70 yards, scores a touchdown, good job to the Bills defense. Your linebackers and Ed Oliver was hitting people too. Great game from Ed.
Yeah, the Bills defense stood up when they needed to stand up, and the Bills keep going. By the way, we should mention also the DPI call at the end of the first half was bullshit. Yeah. Ravens fans, similar to Texas fans, you have a right to be upset about that. Also, but if we're doing fairness, the Deion Dawkins hold call was bullshit, and that was when the Bills were driving, and they immediately had to punt after that. The only person who thought the DPI call wasn't a good call, or was a good call, was Tony Romo.
Mm-hmm. Tony Romo. Let James cook. You ever heard of that one?
Let James cook. They're trying to impose their will. Imposing their will.
Yep.
Over and over.
Yeah, Tony blew
imposing
that
their
one.
will.
Also, shout out Josh Allen. He did the Aaron Rodgers where he just developed a spontaneous Southern accent in the post-game interview.
Yeah.
Was that the Perk Rodgers game?
I think so.
I think that was a Perk Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Perk Allen today.
But yeah, the Bills are a tough team. I don't know. The Chiefs fucking gonna win.
We need the Bills.
They can't play conservative like they did. It did feel in the second half, because they had the perfect first half. They go up 21-10 before halftime. They get the ball, and it just felt like they're like, hey, we're just going to hold on here. I will say Sean McDermott, I know we've had a lot of discourse about being aggressive, trying to win the game. I thought that was the right call to kick that field goal with 4 minutes left, because it was a long 2. Well, if it was 1, maybe you do the push. But with 2, and to be able to go up 8, and exactly what happened, the Ravens have to go down the field, score, and then get a 2-point conversion. At the moment, I was like, I think you got to kick the field goal here.
Weird stuff happens. And on that 2-point conversion, it should have been a catch, should have been 2 points, but because you played it smart, kicked the field goal, put them in a position where weird shit benefits you.
Yeah, you put them in a position where they have to execute an extra play.
Yeah.
And it's like you have another chance to have them not be able to execute this play.
Max, I'm curious to hear your take on this. There was a Baltimore radio host that called Buffalo a city of losers today. Would you concur with that guy?
They lose a lot in the playoffs.
Would you concur that
they've lost a lot in the
city of losers? Because then Sean McDermott said in his post-game speech, this is a city of winners. The people of the city deserve more than whoever said that about them. Do you agree with Sean McDermott or the radio host that called them a city of losers?
I would say they're probably in between, not necessarily losers nor winners. I'm sure the citizens of Baltimore,
Buffalo.
Buffalo's winners or Baltimore's?
The Baltimore radio host called Buffalo a city of losers.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
No, Buffalo's a city of winners.
They've never won a Super Bowl.
No, the people are winners though. But the team has not won a Super Bowl. So yes.
He's kind of backtracking on the whole winner loser thing.
Sounds like you're confused.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, no, I am. That's fine. I'm not. I'm not calling anyone a loser. I'm saying that there's winners and then there's everyone else. Patriots winners, Chiefs winners.
I would love Buffalo to get to the Super Bowl. I would love it.
It would be so fucking
root
awesome
for the Bills and Bills fans. What's that face, Hank? Are you okay?
What is that face?
Oh, Big Cat took a piss.
I had to piss.
I could hear it.
We pre-taped the ads. I had to piss. We weren't going to take a break. What are you going to do?
He's not using the sink.
What do you want me to do? I had to piss.
It just grossed me out.
Why is that
The
gross?
sound, I didn't need the sound.
Number one
What do
sports
you mean?
podcast.
What do you mean when you need the sound? I was still talking during that. I was following along. I had to piss.
So what's your take on it?
Buffalo is trying to be a city of winners.
They're trying their best.
They're trying their best to be a city of winners.
There's a better way than I put it, but
Yeah.
I concur.
They're on their path to trying to be winners.
This is their year. This is their fucking year. Fuck the
Oh,
Chiefs.
man, we need
They're
them
gonna
to
win
win.
Sunday.
I want
They're
Josh
going
to
to
go
New
to the
Orleans.
Super Bowl
Buffalo,
so
like
bad.
Buffalo. I don't know. Is that what's the thing where they have like sister schools or sister cities? Like Buffalo and New Orleans, that is the same city, and it doesn't make sense, but it does. Like if Buffalo is gonna win a Super Bowl, it should be in New Orleans.
Yeah, it would be awesome. I mean, partying with Bills fans all week would be awesome.
Yeah.
I want Hank to. That made
unpack
no
that.
sense.
Well, no, I get it. They're both drunk.
Yeah.
That's what he was going for.
They're just drunk.
Okay. Oh, okay. They're
Yeah.
drunk. I feel like they're very different cities.
No,
It's called Buffalo.
New Orleans is like a
at sea level.
huge tourist trap of a city.
Sister cities.
sister cities.
Sister cities.
Sisters.
Sister
they don't
cities.
always look alike, Max.
It's fair.
But they can still be
That's fair.
sisters.
Yeah, one has like huge tits that they show every couple, a couple times a year. The other likes
a weird way,
the other
Bu-
likes beef on weck and wings. They're sisters though,
Yeah, Buffalo's got a great personality.
right?
I love Buffalo. We've been to Buffalo. The people of Buffalo are great. The city of Buffalo is great.
Have you guys thought about that possibility? Because obviously, if either of you goes against the Chiefs, America's going to be on your side.
I'm taking it one
And
game at a time.
We'll be on your side
I've
too.
thought about it.
If you guys go against the Bills, I will be rooting for my friend Josh Allen.
Yeah, I expect that Buffalo would probably be the darling of America if they got. I'm not worried about that.
I
I'm
might
worried about
root for
you.
you.
I'd root for the
I don't know if I'd root
I would
for Max.
never root for the Eagles.
You can control what you can control.
That's not true, Hank.
No, it's true. I've thought about it. Trust me, I've done the calculations. No, I'm saying if the Bills though.
Oh, yeah,
Like I would
that's
root for
fair.
the Commanders against the Bills. I would not root for the
I
Eagles
thought you
against
were.
the Bills.
Yes,
I
no,
think if
no,
it
no,
was
no. I
com-
thought you were saying I would
I think-
never root for the Eagles
No,
in any.
no,
If it was
no.
Bills Eagles, I'd root for Josh full throated. If it was Bills full throated, yeah, I said it. I mean, listen, we get accused of it, so why not just come out and say we do it? If it was Bills Commanders, I think I would just take a step back and be like, well, there's a positive one way or the other.
That's not. You would root for the Bills.
I don't know.
You said like 2 weeks ago that you
I know.
hoped that I would lose the Super Bowl.
I know, but then I've let
You literally
go.
said
Well, no, I
that.
said I hope you don't get to the Super Bowl. I said it would be bullshit if you got to the Super Bowl. I didn't really think about what would happen if you got to the Super Bowl, because then it's like one of the closest people in my life to have a ton of happiness. I think I'd have to be like, yeah, I want Josh Allen to win.
I am rooting. I'm rooting for the Commanders, and I'm rooting for the Bills.
No, I think if you went to the Super Bowl PFT, I would be rooting for you, because I mean it'd be fucking awesome for you. I'd get back to probably being bitter about Jaden Daniels, but I'd be happy for you.
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be awesome for me?
Nah, we all know what we want.
I mean, Max,
we want the sad Max.
You had your shot, and you got to the Super Bowl, and you would never see somebody rooting harder for you in that Super Bowl than Big Cat was, because he had $200,000 on the line.
Yeah, no, maybe that's the recipe then that I don't need.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Eagles. I don't care who we play on the other side. I'm rooting for the Eagles.
All right, let's wrap up this
Really?
game.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Why?
Let's wrap up this game. Ravens, what do they do?
I don't know that you change anything.
It's got to. I mean, they're starting to get to that point of like, what's happening?
I don't know that you make any drastic changes. I don't know that you can look at this game and say, like, the guys that made mistakes, Mark Andrews, still a good player.
Yeah.
The
Lamar
tweet. Did you guys
Jackson,
see the tweet from the Ravens?
great player.
No.
They tweeted a pregame clip of Mark Andrews warming up and was like, "Mark Andrews not affected by the snow."
Shit.
So maybe you do cut him.
Yeah. You still have to keep going because you have Lamar Jackson and your window's open as long as you have Lamar Jackson. But this is now how many years of Lamar Jackson being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and they have not. I mean, I wonder. Last year probably hurt more
Yeah.
because they were favorites at home against the Chiefs, and they they lost.
A little snow doesn't bother Mark Andrews was the wording on that.
Maybe you cut the social media person. I think what happens is Ravens fans just go into next season with an impending sense of doom. Whereas this season it was like, okay, this is the year we believe. They still were very optimistic. Lamar was playing as good as he has in his entire career.
And they were the hottest team.
But next year you go into the season being like a little bit jaded. I don't know that we can do anything until I see it.
Yeah, because they were playing. I mean, they beat the Steelers. They kicked the shit out of the Texans down the stretch, and they were. It felt like everything was clicking at the right time for them. And yeah, they go back to the well. That's a tough one. We're gonna try to get Stavi on, so maybe he can answer that for us. I feel bad, but I'm gonna have to ask him. I didn't ask him today. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow.
It kind of sucks. Whoever lost this game was gonna have to deal with a significant narrative.
Right.
And as members of the media, it's our responsibility to uphold those narratives.
Right, and they would have both quarterbacks had stat like Lamar with the turnovers and Josh. They didn't really stretch the field and they didn't let him be himself. So they both, whoever lost was going to have to answer to it.
It was going to be execution by the internet.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take another break. When we come back, let's talk national championship and also a little tiny first thoughts about the championship Sunday coming up.
We'll get to college football in a second. The games are brought to you by Doritos. With Patrick Mahomes' help, Doritos is just revealing now the top 3 ads that are still in the running to win the Doritos Crash the Super Bowl contest. Now it's up to you guys to vote which creator is going to win $1 million and have their submission run as Doritos' 25th Super Bowl ad. Voting for their favorite fan-made ad at DoritosCrash.com. That's a lot of responsibility. Vote for the best one. There are 3 great ads out there, and you get to choose who's winning the $1 million. Now until January 28th, fans can vote at DoritosCrash.com. Cast your ballot for who you think is winning the ad. Will it be abduction, barbershop, or charades? You have 8 days left to vote. Vote for the next Super Bowl ad at DoritosCrash.com. That's DoritosCrash.com. They've got a brand new, the Sriracha chip. Delicious. Tried that for the first time last week. Awesome chip. Cool Ranch. Best chip in the game. And then you have your classic Doritos. Check it out. DoritosCrash.com. Vote for your favorite ad. The college games are also going to be brought to you by Redwood Outdoors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought on how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. To help elevate your wellness routine, meet our new sponsor, Redwood Outdoors, and experience the transformative benefits of contrast therapy with a sauna and cold plunge. It's cleaner, healthier. It's a routine through a backyard sauna and cold plunge. It's an investment in longevity and vitality. And it can help you share moments of peace and connect with loved ones. Not to mention the power of deeper detox, reduced inflammation, and glowing skin. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8, and it provides the ultimate in deep relaxation. Reduce muscle tension, improve circulation, improve sleep, and so much more. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code TAKE to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com. Promo code TAKE. Save $175 on your order. I want to get a cold plunge. I think that's the next investment. I want to be a cold plunge guy. Check them out, redwoodoutdoors.com. I'm going to go there right now. Use promo code TAKE, and you can save $175.
Okay. Roback question. RHOBACK.com. Promo code TAKE. 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com. Promo code TAKE. Boys, PFT, Max, what's this week going to be like for the AWLs, for us in the room? How are we feeling?
Speaking for myself, I'm going to be on edge all week.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I'm playing with house money.
Yeah.
Max has a lot more to lose than I do right now. If the Commanders,
I like this.
If the Commanders lose the NFC Championship, this is the start. Like, the window's open. Our window is just. I'm lifting up the window right now. It's cracked, and I'm getting that nice gust of cool air in on a hot summer day. So this is the start of something. For Max, this is like maybe middle to end of something.
The pressure.
I feel like I'm playing with house money, but I'm still going to be very nervous this week because it's the biggest game that I've seen since 1992.
I don't disagree with anything you just said.
Yeah.
I think that's why there's a difference in
demeanor.
You are watching the highlights. You're celebrating the win. It's been over 24 hours.
You're
now.
back to work.
I watched 14 hours worth of highlights. My phone died. The battery on my phone died twice since the game ended last night because I was watching too many highlights.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm on to next week. I don't care that I just beat I don't care about being in the conference championship. That means so little to me.
It's Monday right now. I've moved on. Just turned 12:01. Back to work.
Okay. If the Eagles lose on Sunday, this season is a complete failure.
What
if
about
the Commanders lose, which is a terrifying place to be in?
Yeah. What about for this podcast? Will be the lowest point. Will be the lowest point.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll be a really downloaded episode.
Will it be the lowest point, Max?
Yeah, and I have not don't have a good track record in this.
But that's actually way worse that you've had only low points, and this will be the lowest point.
I mean, the Super Bowl, Max.
But I think this might, like the Super
No,
Bowl.
this is worse.
The Super Bowl was the opening of a window, and you lose to Mahomes, and as much as it sucks, it's Patrick Mahomes. He would have to look at you every single day, pretty much for the rest of his life, because he said he's only going to live to 45. Mm-hmm. And that will be in his head every single day.
And PFT would buy every single piece of NFC champion gear.
Oh, my God.
That would basically be his wardrobe.
He'd buy the shit that no one will buy.
I would make my own.
Have you ever seen a plaid NFC championship shirt?
You're about to.
I have one. Losing to Hank is worse than losing to PFT. I will say.
Have you lost to PFT?
No. Well, yes,
Yeah.
I have lost.
Yeah.
They
Regular season.
correct, but you're so much more of an asshole, and the look on your face when you win, like there's a part of PFT he'll have his moment and it'll suck to see him, but I won't hate him the way that I hate Hank. Mm-hmm. However, I do care way more about the Eagles than I do the Sixers, and the Sixers, that was such a long shot for them to, like, the Eagles have a real chance of winning.
3-2.
No, but the Sixers are the Sixers. Like, the chances of them, like, they weren't in the Eagles are favored to win the Super Bowl right now. The Sixers were never favored to win the NBA Finals.
They're favored to win the Super Bowl, but they're probably going to be underdogs to whoever they play
Correct,
from the
but
AFC.
As of right now, the Eagles are favored to win the Super Bowl. They are in a window. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a time that you have to win.
Right.
Especially, I mentioned it earlier, Jaden Daniels is terrifying. That game against the Lions was incredible. He looked like a guy that I am very scared of for a very long time. And you got to beat him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you got to beat him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if any rookie quarterback is capable of doing what seems to be impossible and winning a Super Bowl in their first year, what I've seen from Jaden, he seems to be the kind of guy that could do that.
That throw to De'Ami Brown was so fucking good.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I'm not confident that the Commanders are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think that they could, which is crazy. The growth that we've seen out of this guy.
There's 2 games away. You absolutely could.
Yeah, we absolutely could, and I'm entitled to think Soupy now because by thinking Soupy, that just means I'm thinking about this game this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, 100%.
I agree. Listen, Max, we said it before we started taping. Like things are going to get contentious by the end of the week. I think we're both trying to start this week out, not firing the other guy up too much, not talking as much shit because that's naturally going to occur as we get closer to the NFC Championship. But shout out to the NFC East. We are who the
NFC
people
Beast.
thought the NFC North
For
was.
PMTV, we should try to we should do like some kind of competition where Hank and I versus Max PFT, let him get maybe closer as friends.
Yeah,
get him on the same team.
I think I'm going to just scout Max this week. I'm going to watch a lot of Max film.
I'm going
to put out a lot of bad tape. I'll tell you that much.
Mm-hmm.
What
I think we should.
Is that a threat?
I don't know. Everything I do is bad tape.
Oh, he's talking about himself.
Oh, himself. Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Who sleep on it, obviously, and I think we can reconvene Tuesday. But people have been saying it a lot, and you guys do both have long hair.
We do. I was thinking maybe a mullet bet.
Oh,
I would do
buy Super Bowl tickets bet.
I think
it's not fair.
That is
I know
so
it's not
unfair.
fair.
I also want to say for the record that if the Eagles
And we have our great friends at Game Time.
are lucky enough to make it to the Super Bowl, I think Max should attend that game in person.
Yeah, so wait, I was going to ask this. Memes, Hank, who you guys rooting for?
So I am in an interesting spot because
Why are you asking Hank?
This is such a great,
no,
this is
no,
such a great
no.
Obviously, he has an answer.
yeah, no shit. I have an answer for everything. Everyone does. I went on a heater a couple weeks ago. I went up like 15 grand on one Sunday, and I was like, I'm gonna put a future. I put it on the Eagles, $5,800, biggest future I've ever put on, plus 450. Right now, I could cash out for 10 grand, so I could cash out and make money. But I don't think I should.
No, probably not.
So I think I'm gonna. I will make a decision by the end of the week. I will also be sleeping on it. And I thought initially going into this game, I was like, if the Eagles win, I'm cashing out and rooting for the Commanders. Once that happened and I was looking at it, I have thought about it more. And the Eagles, I feel like, are the better team. They got more guys, better defense. Commanders are playing with house money. If they lose, they're not going to be that upset about it. My Sunday gut is telling me to stick with the Eagles and ride with Max.
I think the Commanders, the team, is going to be upset if they lose. Very upset.
Well, obviously, but
That's what you just said.
I honestly think that's a better scenario for you. Like, I think that is a reason.
Well, Hank's been betting
not-
against us all season long, so why mess up a good thing?
and people are going to bring up the Commanders futures. I have $100 on the Commanders to win like $1,000. I have $5,800 on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl to win 38 grand. And the other thing that I'm thinking about, because I'm next level thinker, the Eagles have a much better chance to beat the Chiefs.
That's true.
And so I don't want to root for the Commanders, have them win, and then just get smoked by the Chiefs and then three-peat.
So
I'm leaning heavily Eagles.
memes.
No
Memes
offense,
just-
PFT.
memes just wants-
That's understandable. That's not a personal thing. because-
Counterpoint. Everyone thought that the Lions were going to smoke the Commanders.
The Lions don't have devil magic.
That's true.
They have actually they have just the devil on against them.
Yeah, memes.
I woke up. I was gonna root for PFT to win the Super Bowl, and then he tweeted a picture of Amy Schumer interviewing for the Jets head coaching job.
Okay,
And then I switched.
Breaking news: Amy
That's
Schumer
simple.
has just completed her interview.
I like that memes.
They're
'cause
talking to everybody. That's all the joke
But-
was.
We get to stay in New Orleans.
Well,
till
no,
Monday.
so memes that's we were talking about it before, and if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl,
I think you will be able to regardless, memes.
yeah, you might be able to.
no,
Regardless,
I got to do the podcast.
if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl,
Someone's gotta
Max
say.
is gonna go to the Super Bowl. Max,
Yes, I would love to go to the Super Bowl.
so Max is gonna go to the Super Bowl, but we will not stay in New Orleans because we can easily have Max zoom in after the game. If the Commanders go, PFT is gonna go to the Super Bowl, and we can't do a Super Bowl show with PFT and I both on Zoom, so I'd have to stay 3 extra days in New Orleans, and I want to kill myself just thinking about that.
Why wouldn't
No offense to New Orleans, but I also I'd like to see my kids.
Why don't you just fly back and then fly back?
That sounds even worse. That sounds way worse.
So it sounds like PFT got a stacked.
I actually was thinking about
stacked
That's
against
fine.
I
Anybody- shocking.
Anybody, anytime,
No,
anywhere.
I was wanted to root for the Commanders, and then because I want to see Max sad, but then when we mapped out the plans, I was like, wait, what? We'd have to do through Monday, and then I'm going on vacation on Wednesday, so I basically just wouldn't see my kids for 2 weeks, and that would suck a lot.
I want to be perfectly clear. I do not give a shit who you guys root for.
I know. I just wanted to throw it out there for the listeners. 'Cause
Yep.
The listeners might want to know who the three
I'm on
of
your
us are.
side.
Thanks, memes.
Oh, you're back.
No, because we're staying till Monday. If he goes.
Me and memes all the way. Always been best friends.
I that's huge for me. That felt like a
Oh, the graphic.
That felt like
before?
a graphic.
All right, I'm back on Max.
I also might switch.
I might switch too. I might try to figure out how to just not go to New Orleans until the Super Bowl. Skip Super Bowl week.
I wish the Bills Chiefs game was first.
Yeah.
Because if the Bills win, I'm cashing out and rooting for the Bills.
It was really nice being able to watch the games today, knowing that I was already in the NFC Championship game. Next week, it's going to suck because I'm either going to, well, if I lose, I'm going to be so upset during the AFC Championship game that I'm not going to be able to properly enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is gonna be fun. This is
House
gonna
money.
Be fun. This is gonna be fun.
I wish I had house money.
In a vacuum, take your headphones off, PFT. In a vacuum, Big Cat.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Like,
I think the exact same thing I thought before the Lions Commanders game, and I ended up betting the Commanders. Now I didn't bet a money line, but I bet them 8.5. The Eagles are a better team. Jaden Daniels is special. Like if they play this game 10 times, I think it's 5-5 because I think Jaden Daniels just does something. Like if you give him the ball late, he's going to do something special and he's going to beat them. So, yeah, on paper, Eagles are way better. Most talented roster in the NFL. They don't have Jaden Daniels. It just keeps sticking in my head. It's just
they barely beat him with Kenny Pickett.
But it doesn't matter. There's something going on that you just can't, like, the Eagles dropped a pick at the end of that game. Didn't they? Didn't they drop a...
No, Devontae Smith dropped
that's
the
right,
first
to
down
end
that
the
would have
game.
ended the game.
Right. Like, that shit is happening where it doesn't matter.
We should also say, though, that Jaden did throw 2 interceptions.
Wait, you weren't supposed to be listening to
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm just saying. I wanted to make sure to point that out because Max
good
was going
point.
to say we have to talk about that.
No, I told you no notes, Jaden Daniels. I have given Jaden Daniels the utmost respect in this episode.
Yeah.
So
Max and I are both being very careful with our words. right
Yeah,
now.
it's early. It's
Again,
early.
It's early in the week. We're going to ease our way into we're going to work up a lather by Friday.
I agree with everything that Big Cat just said, by the way. The Eagles are for sure I think you agree with that. The Eagles are the better team, but we don't have Jaden Daniels as a scary player.
I would on paper the roster.
They are.
you
They
guys-
just the team is better, but Jaden Daniels and the team of destiny vibes of the Commanders is a thing.
But you also have to look.
The Lions were better. You guys still won that game.
The Lions were
the
playing
Lions-
scrubs.
But the thing is, the Lions were not better. We were the better team. It's not like our guys were better than their guys on Saturday.
That
all
day.
their guys were
Yeah,
hurt.
no, I mean obviously,
Yeah.
but in the grand scheme of things, if you were like the Lions were the better football team all year than the Commanders. But on that, yes, obviously on that day the Commanders were better. But overall, you wouldn't say that if you look at this whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we're doing a guy off,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
What's the most important position?
Quarterback, and that's what I am.
Yeah.
I am agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I think I've also realized that for logistics standpoint, I think I want the Eagles to win the NFC Championship. If the Commanders win the NFC Championship, I think I am going to be rooting for the Commanders in the Super Bowl because I'm going to have to stay an extra 3 days, and I want it to be worth it.
Yeah, not against the Bills, though. You're going to root for the Bills.
I don't know, dude. Again, it comes down to like you actually like that. You're there, and it's like your ultimate happiness. I'd be bitter about Jaden Daniels, but I'd be happy for you, and I'd also be like, at least we stayed for you to win.
Yeah.
Because if you lost, I'd be like, fuck, why'd we stay?
On the numbers side of it, misery always does better than being happy, right?
Well, we're getting that no matter what. That's
That's the beauty of this. That is
Yep.
the beauty of this.
If
And
the
we get
Commanders,
a chance for double misery.
I mean,
but
double-
it can't be against
that-
the Chiefs.
Hank is rooting
Basically,
for
what
double
I'm telling you,
misery.
PFT,
I'm
is
rooting for
if
double
you-
misery Bills.
If you get to, I'm not with you next Sunday, but if you get to the thing, win the whole fucking.
But no,
thing.
actually, no.
that's where I'm at. If you get to the Super Bowl, you fucking win that whole thing.
I kind of agree, actually.
And, like,
double
go
misery
do it.
Bills, I would rather have
I do not agree.
Max Misery PFT win the Super Bowl, but also I have this fucking stupid.
Like the
Eagles.
worst case scenario here is the Chiefs just win.
I would also
Yeah.
say
That's what's gonna happen.
And it's like we go to the Super
Then
Bowl
we're all
and we have to
miserable.
stay.
Then that's pod misery.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I will be rooting for you.
I'll also say that if we get to the Super Bowl, if we're lucky enough to win the Super Bowl, that night is statistically my most probable night of dying that I think I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. New Orleans, Super Bowl victory. I'm 40.
You're a man.
That's like, if you look at a pie chart of different days and how likely I was to die on each day in my entire life, that would be like 12% of the entire pie. That one day.
Just promise me if I have to stay 3 extra days in New Orleans, you win the whole thing.
Okay.
That's all I ask.
If the
Then it's worth it for me.
But listen, I'm focused on this week.
Yeah, I understand. But could you promise?
Yeah, I
that?
promise.
Okay.
if the Commanders go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to get more drunk that weekend than I did last year, than I did the last time, because I will be so miserable that I am like. I will be so miserable.
I'm
down
gonna
there
probably
that
bet.
I am
I'm probably gonna game of the year at the Commanders money line to try to make that extra 3 days in New Orleans worth it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. I might have to do that because I might just be like, fuck it, I'm going all in with you. Like, if you're going to be miserable, I'll just join you.
Memes also has something to say.
I know misery sells, but has anything positive happened to you guys that, like, we know the outcome of that? Like,
numbers-wise?
Number-wise. Like,
No.
the Double Doink was the most listened to podcast.
No, misery, dude, misery.
But
It's
has
misery.
anything positive happened?
No.
When Hank was in the victory parade,
That was huge.
But it's misery.
Parting with the Patriots after they won 2 Super Bowls.
It's misery is
That was
2
big.
times what happiness is.
okay, I think it would actually be. I think people would listen at a super high clip if it was Commanders Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and the Commanders beat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think that would do some numbers.
But it still would be misery.
Yeah.
Misery's always number one. Sickos and perverts love it.
But we don't know.
No, I think we know. It's
Yeah, we know.
how the internet works, memes. You are a student of the internet. You live on the internet.
I think the NFC Championship game
what do you
will be
think-
bigger. That will be a bigger episode regardless of what happens in the Super Bowl.
What clips get watched more? When fans freak out and lose, or when fans get happy?
The Hank celebrating the Boston Celtics went viral.
But freakouts and losses are Max's Super Bowl loss wasn't bigger.
Hank, what you just said was insane, though. You think that the episode after the NFC Championship game is going to be bigger than the episode after Super Bowl?
Potentially, if it's a close, if it's a
exciting game.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Either way, we're in a good spot. God's in AWL.
just not the Chiefs.
Good work, boys. Who do you guys like tonight?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
But I think Lou Holtz is going to be in the building.
What are you shaking your head about, Max?
I forgot that there was a college game.
This is why they shouldn't
There's
do-
been zero
because
buzz
they
about this
did
game.
it in the divisional round.
Negative buzz about this.
This
game.
is why the season lasts too long.
I've been locked in on NFL. I haven't had time.
This game feels like an exhibition.
I do think
not a national championship.
I mean, Ohio State's the better team. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, Notre Dame 2 out of 10 times maybe could win this game. They got to get Will Howard to turn the ball over. They got to be able to, like, I mean, Notre Dame's defense is very good.
I do love Notre Dame's rushing attack, too.
Yeah, and Riley Leonard's going to have to play perfect. But it could be there. Get him into a tight game. Let Marcus Freeman outcoach Ryan Day. I'm worried about Notre Dame's rush defense, and yeah.
Yeah, if Ryan Day is sweating in the second half, he's going to drop the ball.
And the problem with Ohio State, like, obviously everyone knows Jeremiah Smith, and they got dudes everywhere, but, like, their defensive line is so nasty, and they'll just be able to get pressure with 4 and be able to play coverage. And Notre Dame doesn't exactly have, like, they don't have a Jeremiah Smith. That's really what it comes down to. They don't have a difference maker on the outside. Although Faison,
Yeah, he's quick.
he could do something. It's probably Ohio State. But yeah, the college football season goes on too long. Also, we talked about it with Booger. So if you want a full,
Well, like I'm
Preview.
okay with the season going on this long because it's more football. We have a meaningful football game tomorrow night, but also I was not thinking at all about college football this week.
I'm not saying do less football. Just do it earlier.
Yeah,
Like there's spots in the schedule where they could just be like, hey, we're going to play a game instead. And now the college football national championship should be like January 10th at the latest.
yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Make week 0 week 1.
Or just get rid of the conference championships and start the playoffs then.
Yeah,
That's really what it is.
Just give the conference championship to whoever whoever would have won the home team seeding for the conference championship game.
Also, there's an entire week between conference championship week and 2 weeks between conference championship week and the playoffs. Move them up.
But also keep Army Navy as a standalone.
You might have to play it on a different day.
I don't like that. I like that as a standalone.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late for it. Okay, let's finish up. We've got Who's Back of the Week. Okay, before we get to Who's Back of the Week, we are brought to you by Dove's Men. As you prepare to host game day celebrations, what are some possible whole body odor-related issues you may encounter that make you less confident in your hosting duties? Are you afraid to take off your shoes when you enter your friend's house? Getting nervous your team is down at halftime? We'll tackle whole body odor with Dove Men Plus Care Whole Body Deo. This whole body deo defends against all your odor zones from pits, privates to feet, and it's a long-lasting with 72-hour odor protection. This is the stuff you need, especially this time of year. You got people coming over your house. You're watching football. You need the whole body deo, and you need it from Dove's Men. So find Dove Men Whole Body Deo at Walmart today, and you'll smell great with Dove Men Whole Body Deo. Go find it at Walmart.
Who's Back of the Week is brought to you by Uber Eats. Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food no matter what you're craving. From 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week all season long. Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now for game day. Terms and conditions apply. See the app for details.
All right, who's back of the week? Hank.
My Who's Back of the Week is TikTok.
Yeah.
So Saturday.
Our national nightmare is over.
Yeah, Saturday, because there was an announcement last week that they were banning TikTok on January 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, if you went on TikTok, every single person was basically, there was people crying. Everyone was acting like the world was ending.
People at this office asking us to not fire them.
People in this office asking us to not fire them. What's going to happen? How is this going to affect us? You would have thought the world was ending. The funny trend that was happening was like, TikTokers and influencers that got big on the TikTok app were basically revealing all their dirtiest secrets. Like, one last day on this app, I might as well tell you this. And then just tell like basically them like lying about something or doing something nefarious. And
It's
then
like the plane's going to crash, and so you just confess your love to the person that you're next to.
Yes,
But in this
it was
analogy, like life does go on.
Well, basically, that's what's the Almost Famous? That it was basically that scene in Almost Famous, because it got banned. I think 10 o'clock, and then the next Sunday morning it was back, just completely fine.
Mm-hmm. But what a smart marketing move by TikTok to have everybody celebrate the death of your app, talk about how great it is, start crying because they can't use your app anymore. Boom, we're back. That's a great move.
Yeah, it wasn't even 24 hours. I thought it was going to be maybe till the inauguration like officially happened, but no, they brought it back Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back.
So TikTok is back.
What about all the influencers that signed up for what is it, Red Scare?
Red Note.
Red Note.
Red
Yeah,
Note.
the Chinese government-owned app that's like glorified. I think in the terms of service it said to promote the values of socialism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were like sharing. There was a bunch of clips of like people sharing videos from aircraft carriers and shit.
Yeah.
Not great.
So TikTok back.
TikTok's back. I think they said they're doing like a 90-day extension, and then it might be banned again, but there's just no way that it ever gets banned.
I thought the Supreme Court, was it like 9-0? It was unanimous, and it upheld the ban.
But it's back, so how, like...
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
If you can beat a 9-0 Supreme Court vote...
They beat the allegations.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
That's
we're
like
back.
having infinity stars in GTA.
It also is like, Zuckerberg... Are we much better? Are the other apps much better? Like everyone's going to switch. Like I've never understood that part of it.
Well, the thing about I read something, and I think it was
Just
from
the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Yeah, from the court briefing on what they were saying about TikTok. I think that with TikTok, if you have TikTok, and let's say your mom doesn't have TikTok, by you being on TikTok and allowing access to your contacts, the Chinese government now has access to everything about your mom, who's not even on the app.
But they have that shit anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
they have it all.
They have it all. Everyone has
Big Brother's
it all.
watching everything.
If you have an iPhone, everything's out there.
TikTok, though, congrats to everyone who makes a living on TikTok, because that would have sucked for them.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people who are probably freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, there was real tears going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, do you see Snacking Girl came back?
I did see that. Was
It
great.
was awesome.
What'd
That
she
was
do?
great. She
She did the snacking.
Oh, she ran it back?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
nice.
like, this might be the end. Here it is.
One last time.
Yeah. All right, PFT, your who's back?
My who's back of the week. Well, I have an update on the Falconer for Lazio.
Oh.
So he disputes the claim. And to refresh your memory, he's the Falconer for the soccer team Lazio that got kicked
He never
off the
needed
team
the surgery.
because he got a penis enhancement surgery, and then he barricaded himself inside the team facility to protest his firing. He is claiming that he never barricaded himself inside the team facility. rather that he had a medical condition after the surgery where if he stood up, he would have started bleeding from his penis.
Oh.
And he said, I have a medical certificate. If I get up, I will lose blood from my penis. So he's got a note from the doctor saying the only reason he barricaded himself was because he was not allowed to stand up and move around.
Got it.
So we'll see. As of now, still fired. I don't think the Falcon was ever in any immediate danger, but we do advocate for his reinstatement as Falconer, official team Falconer ASAP. My other who's back of the week is Woolly Mammoths. They're back. There's a company called Colossal Biosciences, and they just raised $200 million. Their company's valued at $10.2 billion to bring back and clone woolly mammoths.
Whoa.
And I'd say it's high time that this happened.
That's pretty awesome.
I've been waiting for a billionaire to actually do Jurassic Park ever since that movie came out. We have the technology. Like, what bad could happen from reinventing all these old extinct animals?
Yeah.
So woolly mammoths might be back soon, which I would fucking love to see woolly mammoths walking around out there.
Yeah, why not?
We got coyotes.
Let's do it.
Why not woolly mammoths?
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
I'm all in.
Woolly Mammoths. All right, my who's back. I got two. The Dodgers, they signed another guy who's going to be incredible. Two of them, Tanner Scott and Sasaki. They're just really fucking good. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah, he wanted to be a Dodger because he grew up loving Jackie Robinson.
Oh,
That's what he said.
nice. And then my other who's back is Gun Girl, a.k.a. Poop Girl.
Oh, yeah.
She's back.
What's
She's doing
she up to?
interviews again.
I debated her one time.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah. It was.
She's
got hot and heavy.
She said I'm back, first time on campus in 5 years.
I didn't debate her about anything political. I debated her on whether or not she pooped her pants. I took the position of yes, she did.
And she said no.
Yeah, I won the debate.
Yeah. She said stay tuned for some wild conversations about transgenderism and abortion at USF.
Great.
Awesome.
That sounds fun.
I saw it because someone quote tweeted it was like her face looks like when you eat mushrooms and you look at yourself in the mirror. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad she's back.
Welcome back. Okay. Good show, boys. What a week we got coming up.
Huge week.
What a week we got coming up.
Max, let's just agree that this week a lot of stuff is going to be said. There's no but after that. Just a lot of stuff is going to be said this week.
That's it. I'm like not looking. Yeah, this is.
I mean, you're not in a like. You just need the game to kick off because you're not.
Well, no,
you're not in exactly a. I'm going to say that you versus PFT in a battle of words, wits.
I'm cooked.
It's not going.
I need
It's not
Roan
going to go your
bad.
way.
Yeah, you're calling for Daddy. You want Daddy to fly. You're trying to fly out Roan.
Facts.
You need Roan.
Facts.
You need him.
For the record, I do not want Roan to fly out. Not because I don't like hanging out with Roan and being with him. Roan scares me.
You need Roan.
Roan and Big Dom scare me.
You need Roan. Bad. Real bad. Real bad.
I mean, the words doesn't really. If the Eagles, it's just whoever wins.
Yeah, but Roan will give you support to feel like you can
yes.
fight a fight, and
Yeah.
then like the backup is Connor Griffin.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I love Connor Griffin.
Is there a butt?
Anything else?
That we said no buts.
Well, you also,
We did say no buts.
I mean, also Pug's here.
Pug is here.
Yeah, Pug.
is an
Yeah.
Eagles fan.
Pug, you want to talk shit?
No, it's NFC East respect. We respect each other.
Love that.
Pug.
Love that Pug.
Is Jack here?
Jack is here.
Where is he?
Pug.
He's all the way back there. All right. Well, let me do Lottery Ball brought to you by Jack Pocket. Did you know you can get scratch-off tickets with Jack Pocket Lottery app? That's right. You can order scratch in states like Texas, Ohio, Massachusetts, Arizona, and other select states. Don't forget Jack Pocket also lets you order Powerball and Mega Millions tickets right on your phone. Download Jack Pocket. New customers get your first ticket free with code PMT. That's code PMT only on Jack Pocket. Jack's a Lions fan.
Yes.
What do you got?
Honestly, I will take that loss if it means OSU loses tomorrow.
Okay, but that's probably not going to happen.
Yikes. I know.
Who did you think you were making that deal with?
I don't know.
Like, if this is the universe's plan, then you're kind of okay with it.
I mean, we did establish that God is an AWL, so maybe you can tell him right now, like, hey, dude, I really need you to get OSU to lose. So Lions are obviously second behind Michigan football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, That was really sad coming out of your mouth, dude. Because, like, OSU's probably going to win, and then you're going to have Lions lost, and then...
Yeah, it's going to be a rough week.
That's a hell of a cope that he's in right now.
Yep.
Like, you went to bed on Saturday night, you're like, well, at least this probably means that OSU is going to lose.
There's a chance.
All the bad things can happen.
Oh, man. All right, I'm rooting for Notre Dame now, for your sake.
Thank you.
It's funny that Notre Dame is like the plucky underdog.
Yeah. America's rooting for Notre Dame.
Nobody believes in them.
Okay, numbers.
17.
5.
8.
3.
99 Pope.
11.
45.
85.
Love you guys.